Done.
What's up, people? We are live on a Wednesday. What's up, Magic? How we doing? So we're here for our Into the Snake Pit mini adventure tonight. So welcome on, everybody. My name's Evldoa. I'm a DM slash stay-at-home dad here in New Zealand. We do a lot of D&D on this channel. Sundays at the moment running our second homebrew campaign, Shadow's Embrace. And we've just started a mini adventure, which we're going to do moving forward on Wednesday nights with random players. So we're going to, hopefully Drax will actually join us on camera at some point in the next few minutes.
He's just making coffee. He just texted me.
But we can't really get started without him. But, oh, there he is, look. So we're going to be some of these faces you'll recognize, some you will not, some you have not seen for quite some time, but moving forward each of these mini adventures will have different players. So the players that got into this mini adventure probably won't be showing up in the next one. Those that had showed an interest in this one and missed out will get first option to join the next one when I decide to run it. After this one, however, we'll be doing Roasted Chickens mini adventure, which I'll be playing in, and a few other faces will be in there as well. So firstly we're going to do is going to go around our players and get them to introduce themselves, not the characters, just the players. Most of us know each other, but we've got a couple here that may not have been seen on camera for a while. So we'll start with Mr. Grim over there.
Tis I, Grim Reality. that is about it.
That's about it. But you can also find Grim here on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Grim Realities. Mods, we can get a shout out from Mr. Grim. That'd be good. Then we have over in the corner, Mr. Drax. Say hi, Drax.
Hi, Drax.
Everyone knows who Drax is. Drax is one of my mods and also lives just up the road from me. And then down below, down here, we have Mr. Dill Cripple. Say good day, Dill.
Well, hello.
So many of you will know
Just your
average Dill Cripple.
yeah.
So tell us where you're from, Dill.
Gillian. I'm from America.
The artist formerly known as Gillian. So many of you will remember Savage Beast Co. was one of our first, or one of the original Lions of Valonde members in our campaign 1, but due to IRL stuff, we had to drop his character, and then unfortunately, not long after that, he had his accident, which put him out for a long, long time. But he's back, and is now a Dill. So, and he's now coming join us for our mini campaign. Of course, down below there at the very bottom in the corner is Miss Nutty Tart. Say hi, Nutty.
Hi, everybody.
So everyone will know Nutty, of course, mod in the chat, and Evil's better half and partner in crime.
So pleased you said better.
Well, always going to say better half, jeez.
I'm the one that's never at home.
She's the one that makes all the noise in the kitchen every day when I'm streaming. Just so you know, this is the face that makes all the noise.
Resident drummer, I tell you.
So yes, so that is our cast of players. Just need to move that camera slightly. So to set our scene tonight, we're gonna start with just a little bit of a monologue. So we are in the realm of Paradigm. The Snakepit Casino, though most people have heard of it, do you know its exact location, however? It has closely guarded entrances that are in the nondescript businesses in quiet parts of town, though no one would suspect it hides a sprawling gambling den. You, my players, are a group of mercenaries / adventurers who have been brought to town via a message from a local man by the name of Nillaby Gaton. He's asked you to meet him at the Squirrel and Hydra Inn in the capital city of Valonde. And you arrive in the coastal city, about midday on Zophar, the third day of Karma. You ask directions to the Squirrel and Hydra, and you make your way there from the docks. Takes you about an hour as you walk through this bustling port city. Many races are here: elf, goblin, dwarf, occasional half orc around as well, which is unusual. We don't see many half orcs. It is a bustling city. It's a large city. The Squirrel and Hydra is located in the sort of northern part of the city. And once you sort of make it there, it's quite easy to see the sign above this reasonably well built small building has a wrought iron sign which has a squirrel fighting a hydra. Basically, it's kind of an odd sign, and then beneath it's got the words and scrawled lettering, Squirrel and Hydra. You make your way into the inn. Once inside, you see a small, cozy inn. Chandeliers with candles lit, candles across the tables, much what you see in the picture before you, in fact. It's quiet, there's not too many people in there. You look around, you've been given a brief description of what this man would look like. And you look around the room and you spy someone looks somewhat description you've been given. And you approach him. As you approach, he sort of looks up from his cup and sees you approaching and stands to greet you. Ah, you must be the adventurers that I've sent for. Please, sit, come. You are much larger than I anticipated. Looking towards you, Manus, Manus, could you please describe your character and what he is wearing to the chat?
No worries. So Manus is a centaur. He's wearing quite large turquoise-coloured armor that comes down in a red shirt, and he's got a large belt that sort of crosses the front, and a very ornate sword slung across his back that almost looks like it probably doesn't get used very much. And he's sort of greying in the hair, and the horse part of him is stark white and comes down into black hooves down the bottom. Yeah, not much for sitting. Hopefully there's enough room in here for everyone, and he sort of like tries to get himself in a position he's not going to get in the way.
So this gentleman sort of shifts the table to accommodate you, so it gives you enough room to stand next to the table in a semi-comfortable position. He then turns over the rest of the group and turns towards you, Ame, and sort of raises an eyebrow at you and says, well, we don't see many of your kind in the northern part of the Paradigm Realm. Please, take a seat. Drax, would you describe your character, please?
Ame is sort of green and blue scales. He's got a great big shell on his back that is definitely not clear in the picture, but
no,
it is. He's got a big shield which also looks like it's made from a turtle shell on his arm, and he's got bright blue claws, and his face looks like its jaw could just snap something clean off.
It's a very intense looking individual indeed. And he points to addresses you and allows you to sit, pulls a chair out for you, moving around. He turns now to the smallest person in the group and says, please be seated. Nutty, would you describe your character, please?
She is a little 3.5 foot, with long, light yellow hair, beautiful purple robes, purple shoes, detailing's very particular and also in shades of aubergine. She carries her book in her hand, her tome, and she would kind of scramble up onto the chair and say, "Thank you."
And Nillaby would aid her to the chair with as he is indeed a gentleman, pushes your chair into the table, and then finally turns to you, Thrixel, and sort of looks you up and down. You must be careful here in the city. You are probably not very welcome here. But I welcome your aid, indeed. Please, sit. Thrixel, would you describe your character, please?
Nearly, well, 6.5 foot roughly, and scaly. Has a pierced, like, tribal-esque nostrils. Toothy maw. And he's a lizard folk. So.
Yes, so
And,
it appears that lizard folk
just
are
raising
not
that.
common at all in Paradigm. In fact, most lizard folk in these parts are deemed as being hostile, bandits, cutthroats. So you take your seat at the table, and I will now show you what your benefactor looks like. He's wearing a leather duster jacket almost with a hood, and you can see he's pulled it quite down low-key over his eyes. And as he greets you and seats you, he sort of looks around, a little almost nervous as he takes his seat, pulls his jacket closer around him and pulls the hood down further. Underneath that hood, it is quite visible. You can see what most of you would probably deem as more regal type robes. Robes of an aristocrat or a nobleman or a mage, perhaps. But you can see he's trying to hide them quite well. He pulls his jacket around his body, trying to hide what he's wearing underneath. I mean, with relevant success, but where you guys are sitting in close proximity to him, it is quite easy to see that he's wearing these robes underneath. As he sits you all down, he sort of greets you all and waves for the barkeep, and a halfling comes over, brings some tankards of mead to the table and offers you all a drink. So greetings, and once again, thank you for replying to my summons and coming here. I know it was a short notice and a bit of a travel. My name is Nillaby Gaton. I'm a member of the Mage's Tower here. And he looks around as he says that, and he sort of lowers his tone. I've invited you here for a rather sensitive task. You may or may not have heard of an organization by the name of the Black Fang, which you all would have in your travels as adventurers. The Black Fang is a well-established thieves guild or thieves establishment within the Paradigm realm, although of late has been more brutal in its tasks. Normally hiding in the shadows and basically just thievery, they seem to have shifted to assassination and more heinous crimes of late over the last sort of decade or so. They have operated in this realm for decades, hidden in back alleys and shadows for many years, before nothing but a nuisance. However, that was until Orphinius Stone arrived on the scene. There is a gambling den here in Valonde, somewhere in the city. I have it on good authority where it may be located, and I'm tasking you to enter this den and retrieve a ledger that will be located in Orphinius' personal office, somewhere beneath the casino, I'm told. You'll have a few days in which to plan your mission before heading in. I would not want you to head in blind. That would be foolish. Upon completion, you will be paid well, and you may keep whatever you find within the den itself. The information on the ledger will allow the city guard and the Mage's Tower to shut down Orphinius and his den of ill-gotten gains for good. Be aware, though, he is not a man to be trifled with. Extremely brutal, extremely violent. We have sent others before you. None have returned. So should you accept this task, the reward will be substantial. More than you have received before, I'm sure. But I suggest you plan well. We have an extensive library at the Mage's Tower, which you will have access to. And we have a couple of individuals there that may aid you in your investigations and the information you'll need. Do you accept this task? Actually, who among you is the leader of your group, may I ask? Or do you all share equally this task?
I just do my best to keep them out of trouble. I wouldn't say we have a leader. We're often more of a blunt instrument in our dealings, but perhaps this time, and he sort of looks at you all pressingly, we can be prepared. It sounds like perhaps that would be the best course of action.
Indeed. Blunt force will serve you well at some time during this endeavor, but to begin with, a more subtle approach would probably be best. Much investigation will give you as much information as you can about the snake pit, it is called, in fact. Snake pit gambling den. Take from that what you will. But I shall leave you now to discuss and take the few days that I've offered to research. And I will see you again before you enter and offer last advice, perhaps. Please, drink, eat, on me. You have rooms here at the inn also paid for, so you do not need to worry. Again, thank you for your prompt arrival. And he stands and gives you all a low bow, and you can see, again, pulls his jacket and hood close, and then exits the building. So, your lefty devices for the moment. This is where we get into a little bit of a planning session. You have access to the library, which will deem you a little bit of information. The library, the person you were to speak to. So, you may nominate a character to roll these checks. You have gold. I believe do you all have gold attached to your characters? I can't remember whether we added gold or not.
I believe so.
I think we do have a little bit of gold each.
No, I have a little bit.
For all intents and purposes, we won't worry about it for this. We'll say that this expense has been covered by Nillaby. So there will need to be 4 checks made. You can make one. You can each make one of these checks, or you can nominate one person to make all 4. So there will be a dexterity check, an intelligence check, a wisdom check, and a charisma check. So the dexterity check will be a stealth check if you wish it. The intelligence will be investigation. The wisdom will be a perception, and then the charisma will be either deception, intimidation, or persuasion. So have a chat amongst yourselves and decide who is going to make what check, or if one person's going to make all 4. The DC is set, and based on your successes or failures will determine how much information you gather in these 2 or 3 days of planning.
You were all unusually quiet during that, which I appreciate, but it's uncommon. Is everything all right?
Just thinking and having a look around the place while we're sitting here.
I really don't know how to take the fact that he says I will be unliked.
don't think there's many of your kind around here, so people would probably be wary.
Well, I can answer that one for you. And the halfling that was bringing you some food pumps the tankers and food back down. He goes, your kind normally rob and steal from people around here. That's why nobody really likes them. Lizard folk live up in the mountains and in the swamps. Hold up carts and stagecoaches. Pretty much steal and kill their way across Paradigm. Not very often we see one that actually does any fucking good. It's got my eye on you.
We
You
know
won't
our
have
part,
to
Nick.
worry about me.
You don't need to worry about any of us.
It's important to focus on the deeds of the individual and not throw a blanket ideology on a particular race or species of people. Thrixel's here. It's proven himself quite useful.
Well, when you see them, when all you see is knife and axe, whenever you meet one, it's kind of hard not to judge them all, isn't it, really? But I'll take your word for it. He hasn't pulled a sword out and tried to cut my head off or anything, but anything else you'll need, let me know. Rooms are available. Nillaby is taking care of your rooms for the evening, or for a couple of days at least, from what I understand.
Thank you.
And he turns on his heels and sort of carries on about his business. So, who is going to make the dexterity or stealth check for the group?
Not me.
Or me.
Really not me.
I mean, I could.
Up to you, because I
Okay
could
with it?
too.
Yeah, so just a gentle reminder, you guys know each other. I mean, not super well. You have traveled together for a little while, and your group dynamic seems to work for you, which is why you've sort of stayed together. So you would have an understanding of rough understanding of each one's abilities. I mean, obviously the two paladins would not be the best for stealth checks or anything like that, but it seems that both Thrixel and Salanth are pretty dexterous. They're maybe it's Salanth's size, perhaps. She seems to be the obvious choice for this particular role. So you guys can decide amongst yourself. You can flip a coin if you wish to see who wishes to take
I
this
look at
role.
him and I say, should we flip this?
Sure.
So you decide who's going to flip the coin and who's going to call it.
You asked. Flip it.
What is your call, Thrixel?
Okay, you go.
Heads.
So call of heads. Tails. So it looks like Salanth is going to be making this first check. So you need to roll a stealth check, Salanth. So on your sheet, if you're looking at on your sheet, it'll be down the left-hand side of your sheet. Click on the word. You click on your skill section down the middle there. Sorry, you click on word stealth. And a 6. Okay.
That was not my best roll.
Not your best roll, no. But anyway, that is your first check. Our next check is an intelligence or investigation check. Who is going to take that? Which of the remaining 3?
I got no intelligence.
So it appears that our mayor seems to be very quiet and not as intelligent as the rest of them. Very basic.
We can't leave it to our men. I mean, he can't even put a shirt on. And I'm very good at this talent myself. Thrixel, would you put your hand or your claw to this, perhaps?
I could, but I don't see myself as the kind to read books often.
Would that be put back down to me again as feel I
You
might be quite learned.
You cannot roll it. You've already rolled.
Okay, I can't roll. I'm sorry.
This is a roll each. Unless you guys want to nominate Solance to roll all 4 rolls, it's up to you.
Far more persuasive than anything else.
We got an inspiration for
couldn't
Dill
hurt.
and for Grim
Hey.
and for Nutty.
I suppose I could
And for
try
Drax.
my hand at this.
Everyone has a D10 inspiration to add to a roll of their choice. So, Thrixel, you've decided that you're going to roll the investigation check. So again, on your sheet, in the next to your skills, you'll see all your skills there. Investigation roll, please. That is your investigation roll. You won't know whether you've succeeded or failed until you get the information. So we've got 2 more rolls to go.
That was not too shabby.
Next up, you can add an inspiration to that deal if you wish. You can add a D10 to it to improve on it. You have a D10 to roll.
Sure.
Okay, roll D10.
I can't see which one that is on the bottom.
It is the 4th one along from the
Oh, like the middle
yeah,
one.
one right in the middle. Yeah. 3, so that'll make it a 15. Okay. We now have a perception roll to be made. So out of Manus and Arme for perception.
What's the last one?
It is a deception, intimidation, or persuasion.
I'm good with either wisdom. I'm very wise and very charisma-ish. So either or.
So
Do
Manus
it
sort of
do it in
stares a hole
in
you.
character. talk to Manus.
I thought I was.
Oh, were you? I thought you were talking to me.
There are many things you aren't, Arme, but perceptive. I feel like you're always watching. Maybe not so much in the talking, but always watching.
I can see a fish from 1,000 miles away. I don't
Should
know
we
what
be
a mile is.
worried? Should we be worried about that fact?
I
Fish is
mean,
good.
he
Fish is-
has just turned and said fish before.
I'm more concerned with the stink, to be honest.
How much has he had to drink?
I've even noticed the fish that's on your chest there, Jill.
Thrixel.
Director.
There's a fish?
Scales.
On your
Scale.
armor, man. Yeah, the
On your
scales on
armor.
your armor.
Indeed.
So, who is rolling the perception?
I figure Arme. I've got a +2. If yours is better than that, which
I've
I'm
got
assuming it
+1.
is.
Yeah, I
Plus
don't
one.
think it
Oh,
is.
perception.
Perception.
Oh, +4.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, I
so-
say your perception's pretty good.
God, find it. It's on there.
It's a dirty 20.
Wow.
So, we're pretty good there so far. And the final roll from Manus. So, Manus, you get a choice. Deception, intimidation, or persuasion.
Persuasion.
So this is
Persuasion
all,
for sure.
yeah, this is all designed to, again, this stealth is just doing reconnaissance. Your investigation, again, was just, again, the stealth and investigation were doing the reconnaissance around where you've been told the entrance to this gambling den is. The perception and charisma were for your research and talking to people about how you can get in. So your roll, please, Mr. Manus. A natural 1. You do have. I'm not even going to let you add a D10 to that because a natural 1's a natural 1.
Man, that dice hate me.
So, What I will allow you to do, however, even though it's a natural 1, if you have between you 30 gold pieces, I will add a +5 to that 7. As bribe to maybe you've
definitely
failed your persuasion, but you're able to bribe this individual.
give money towards this. I
How
have
much
gold.
have you got
As well.
to give?
I could give 15 or 20 if needed.
I've got 10.
I can give 2.
Yes.
Do you not have much gold between you?
Ame has 5.
I could
have
give
5.
30. I'll give the 30.
So Salanth covers the 30. So for 30 gold, that 7 becomes a 12. So with that, you spend the time, next 2 or 3 days, in and out of the inn. You start searching around the lower north side of the city, where you've been informed that there is a sewer entrance, it appears, that may lead to another entrance beneath the city, where the staff enter the snake pit. Not through the main doors, where you have discovered that if you were to enter through the main doors, you would have your weapons removed immediately upon entry, as no weapons are allowed inside the snake pit. You learn there's a staff entrance through the sewers, and the staff uniforms are laundered in a local business 3 times a week. In fact, you also learn that the staff entrance is guarded, but if you were to disguise yourself as staff, perhaps you might be able to get in. Weapons could be a problem. You would have to try and hide your weapons to get in as well. So large weapons would not be an easy thing to hide unless you come up with a way to do that. You know that weapons are taken from patrons and stored somewhere on the premises, so you know that you probably would be able to procure weapons on site if needed. But that is about all the information you gather at this point. So a couple of days have passed. You're now sitting back at the inn, say mid-morning, a couple of days later. The information you now have will give you something, a little bit to discuss, I think, before you just roll in. You need to discuss what you're going to do. Are you going to go in through the main entrance? Are you going to try the staff entrance? Things like that.
I think it would probably be less... That's the word I'm looking for. We wouldn't look so suspicious if we went through the main doors, because I'm guessing the guards would know who their staff are. And 4 new faces all at once could be a little bit suspect.
Yes, and I feel like Ame may be hard to disguise as a worker, along with myself and Manus.
Also, I had quite enough
Quite large.
traipsing around in the sewers last adventure. I still don't think I've got all the crud out of my hooves, and he sort of scrapes them.
So did you not go for that pedicure at the end of that one there, Manus?
No, you seem to have all the gold. It's very strange. I swear as a group we've earned quite a bit, but my pockets are empty.
I
Indeed.
save well.
That makes one of us.
What do we do about weapons? I'm loath to use mine, but it's certainly good to have in case things go pear-shaped.
Sure, if we bribe the right person, we might be able to find where they keep the weapons and get them back, perhaps. Oops.
Don't turn your camera off. Yeah, mute,
I
not
hit the
turn
wrong
camera
button.
off.
Oh, it's your odd net 20 of stealth.
Arme,
So,
what do you think of this?
Did you say fish?
No. I didn't say fish, did I? No.
I mean,
did someone say fish? Yeah, we sell fish.
Yeah, fish, please.
I think our
Roger.
portal friend over here wants some.
I mean, there's plenty of room in my shield. I mean, my shell. You could probably hide stuff in my shell. I mean, I'm sure I've got a closet empty in there somewhere.
Did we find out how they removed the weapons? Are they magically whipped away? Do we know?
They have guards on the entrances that will pat you down and remove your weapons. Like it's like any establishment. They will make sure that no weapons make it in. So they will search you.
This could be fun. I mean, you know.
I wonder if
I mean, you don't know whether
yeah.
they've got a magic means of doing that or not. You just know that you will be searched upon entry and all weapons will be removed.
would we have found out if they like who they have like as like who they tend to hire?
I would say
Like as the guards and such?
those successes, I mean, you didn't actually succeed all that well, unfortunately. I would say you get the impression, you don't know specifically because you may not have thought to ask that at the time during your investigations, but you get the impression with, I think the investigation wasn't too bad. It was a 15, so I would say that you have spotted a minotaur or two, and maybe an ogre or two as well. You're not entirely sure, but there's definitely minotaurs that work there. And from what you've observed with other staff members, the bulk of the other staff members seem to be either human, halfling, dragonborn. Again, no centaur, no turtles or lizard folk that you were aware of anyway.
I think I agree that our best bet is to enter as connoisseurs of sorts.
Get our weapons confiscated. I did like the idea of hiding them in your shell, but then he sort of grabs his greatsword and it's huge. He's like, I don't know that this would fit. It'd be interesting to try though. And he sort of just puts it back.
Yeah, looking at it, yeah, it would definitely be a not fitting situation there. Smaller
we could hide
weapons,
our
yeah,
small
smaller
weapons
weapons. I would say that it'd be possible to hide some smaller items in Arme's shell, definitely.
I have a quarterstaff. I don't think it's going to be a thing.
No. You also don't need a weapon.
We could
I
hide.
know.
We could hide quarter of your staff in there.
What good would that? Oh,
I mean,
I
My
could hit
helm,
somebody around the head
probably-
with it, stab him, you know. I actually think maybe I'm looking at the group thinking we've got 2 paladins and a fighter. We should be okay without weapons.
yeah. I always have my teeth.
And you have your hooves, Manus.
yeah.
I look at
Maybe
Thrix,
don't bite
Ame.
things straight away this time, though, Thrixel. Maybe talking and then biting if necessary. Yes?
But I like to bite. It's tasty.
I'm sure you do, but the bitees. Oh, this is my penance. Oh, Helm, save me, please. So we agree, front door, hand over our weapons.
Maybe see if we can keep the little ones like daggers and things in Ame's shell. Ones that we can squirrel away somewhere that they won't be able to be seen when we're in there.
Right.
Sounds good to me.
So with that, what weapons, if any, that you are carrying, do you think you could fit an armor shell? Do you have daggers?
I have daggers.
I would say short sword would be able to be hidden. Any one-handed weapon, you're not going to get too much in there because, I mean, there'd be a bit of room because he's able to retreat into his shell. While you've got things in your shell armor, you would definitely not be able to retreat into them until they're removed. You would definitely poke yourself badly. So I would say 3 or 4 one-handed weapons is what you could stash inside armor shell. Like 2 or 3 daggers maybe, but like longsword probably just, or a mace perhaps, but short sword definitely, daggers definitely.
Well, I guess if I move the pool table, there should be room.
I don't think I have anything that's going to fit. And he sort of looks at his javelins that he's sort of got. He's like,
I
don't
have a spare dagger, if you need it.
I
I only got
suppose.
my little morning star in here, and my drums. So I can take my drums out and throw that away.
Morning Star you'll fit, definitely.
I mean, I have a crossbow and my swords.
What are your swords, Strixel?
Long swords.
Yeah, I would allow 1 of the long swords and a couple of daggers, but that'd probably be about it.
I mean, I don't actually need either of my daggers. I can cast, so I can give them to you guys. I don't mind.
I mean, hopefully we find a way to get our weapons back. We might be able to be persuasive when we get in and obtain our weapons. If things are as complicated as our patron says, we might be in need of them, even though I'm reluctant to use them, as I said.
Do we want anything to use as a distraction of sorts?
However, sorry to interrupt you. We don't want to get caught trying to secret weapons in there, because I can't imagine that the guards would be very forthcoming with letting us through the door if they find them.
Right.
Or I could hide them internally.
No.
Use our prison pouches.
The path to redemption is paved with frustration. Oh my god. Where did we get him from again? And can we put him back?
I came from the sea, so yeah. You can put me back if you want.
It's like a catch that is spoiled and...
Did you say fish?
So are we deciding not to go with weapons then?
I could do without weapons.
I say we take them and have them confiscated. If we don't get them back and we're successful, then hopefully the adventure will pay enough that we can.
The one thing you did find out was they don't when they confiscate them, you get a ticket. It's just like checking at a coat at going into an establishment. You get a little ticket. They basically, what they do is they write your name on the ticket, they tear it in 2, you get half gets attached to your weapons. Your weapons then get put into a storage area, and you receive them when you leave the establishment. They don't allow weapons on the floor of the casino for obvious reasons. People get accused of cheating and might stab someone, and it's not a good look for the casino.
I will say, however, it could be to our advantage to have uniforms that they wear in case once we're in there, we see anyone looking similar to us. So then we may possibly make a little changery do. Get what I mean?
So you want to visit the laundry and pilfer some clothes, is what you're saying?
I mean, taking some laundry from some bad guys.
That wouldn't be hard to do, but it doesn't sound like they hire anyone that looks like us.
Yeah, but there's always people in the background that they don't like to show people that they use. You know?
I'm sure acquiring some uniforms shouldn't be too hard.
We know where the laundry is, where the uniforms are laundered. So acquiring uniforms would not be a problem. It would cost you.
I'm guessing I'm the one with all the gold. The gold. So
It seems so.
I always go and speak nicely to the person at the laundry. I'm not sure we're going to get something to fit you, though, May.
Or Manus for that
Yeah.
level.
Or Manus. So maybe just two. One for me and one for you, Thrixel.
Probably wouldn't get one to fit Thritzel either. Thritzel, all three of those guys are pretty big.
Okay.
I mean,
So
yeah.
I'd be the one that...
So easily enough to, if
the-
you wish to acquire a uniform for you, Salant, it would be easy enough to do. A little bit of fast talking and probably a little bit of gold would definitely get you what you needed. So I'll deduct another 10 gold for bribery and receiving the uniform. So just put it in the notes somewhere, or take note that you have a uniform from the snake pit. Which, I mean, and you guys know that there are halflings that work there, or gnomes and things. So there are the more humanoid races that tend to work as barmen and servers and things like that.
And everybody loves a gnome. My screen keeps going black.
It's good to have someone around for short business.
Did you just
Tight
call me
spaces.
short?
Yeah. I mean,
She looks up at him.
It's
Gotta
all
be one
relative,
step
my dear.
ahead.
I mean no insult.
I'm smiling. I'm not insulted.
So we agreed front drawer, backup uniform for Salanth. Weapons confiscated, although I say we do try and hide some in Arme Shell,
I
make
reckon.
use of our turtle friend.
I mean, if you still want to hide a few smaller weapons in Armored Shell, you can do. It's up to you.
Definitely. No point not giving it a go.
So what
and
specifically
some-
are you hiding in Armored Shell?
I have 2 daggers I can hide in Arme Shell for
Okay.
whoever needs them.
2 daggers, one of Thrixel's long swords, although Arme has a weapon of his own he probably need to shove in there.
I got
I'd
one
be
more.
fine with. I'm fine if they take my swords.
Yeah.
I'd be fine.
So Arme, do you want to hide your flail? I believe it is the flail
That's
or
the
Morning
Morning
Star. So basically a mace. So if you want to hide, do you want to hide your Morning Star inside your shell?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, so again, just make a note that we have a Morning Star and 2 daggers inside of Arme's shell for this. Are you ready to make your way into the snake pit? Is the next question.
Are we adequately prepared?
I think there's not a lot else we can do until we get inside.
Right, you are. Arme, are you with us?
Barkeep, can I get a big fish, fresh one, and just wrap it up for me to go?
Well, I look like a fucking fishmonger. This is an inn, not a fishery. You want a live, if you want a whole fish, go down to the fish market down the docks.
Oh, I figured you'd have one lying around.
No.
You said you had fish.
We get it filleted for us. They bring it to us filleted, ready to go. Not whole. Stink up the place. Jesus.
Well, can I get a couple of fillets then?
He sort of sighs and turns around. Green scaly one wants some fish. Raw, I think.
Just fresh, thanks.
And I mean, when they bring it out to you wrapped, you can smell it. It's not fresh. Like, it's probably at least 2 days old. They don't get it like fresh here.
Oh, that's perfect.
So it's a little stanky, but it's not bad.
He'll stick that into a shell next to
Jesus
the other
Christ.
stuff.
Okay, so we have weapons and 2-day-old fish in the shell of So are we ready to proceed?
He's gonna have us.
Is just looking at Manus like,
He's gonna have us chased out of Valonde. We're not even really welcoming Gaton anymore. It's a buffoon.
we don't talk
I know
about
it
that
sounds like-
anymore.
Oh, yeah, Gaton.
Yeah, what happened in Gaton stays in Gaton.
Probably for the best. Right, we should head off.
Those are some cute animals.
So with that, are we heading out? So you
Yes.
leave the squirrel
Come
and
on,
Hydra.
Let's go.
You
She gets her.
leave the squirrel and Hydra, and you head to the northern part of the northern part of the city. It's in the northern sector of the city. It's a sort of an upscale market area. You find the business, which you know is a front for the Snake Pit Casino. You walk inside. You're met with initially just a human man. Storefront, like it looks like just a general goods store, a kind of upmarket general goods store, and he looks up at you guys. Good morrow. How may I help you? And you would know that you're looking at what was the term? You are looking for the Viper's Den. You've come to visit the Viper's Den, something along those lines.
Sidle up next to him. Hear about the was it the edit? No, the Viper's Den.
He raises an eyebrow and says,
And she winks. Then slides him a
Right.
gold.
He looks at you and slides it back to you. He says, "You'll need that." And he then snaps his finger, and behind him, where is a curtain, he then pulls the curtain apart, and you see that a doorway starts to appear, as if hidden by an illusion, perhaps. And he swings the door open. It leads to a set of stairs leading straight down. You head down the stairs, and you are greeted at the bottom by 3 large individuals. And the larger, or the one in front, it seems, "No weapons allowed. Hand them over." It's a large minotaur. He's got an axe slung at his side, and flanking him are 2 ogres. And they almost fill this entire space. These guys are big. This area is not exactly designed for comfort for these guys. These guys are huge. The ceilings are tall enough that they can stand almost at their full height, but even for you, Manus, you feel a little cramped in this area too. So what you're sort of noticing here is the floors are dressed stone, so they're not highly polished, but they're very very well looked after. It's dressed stone. You've got the ceilings are about 15 feet high. You've got vault walls and floors from stone as well. There's wood paneling on the interior of these walls. And you can see over here behind, probably just behind this ogre, there is a door, and the door looks to be very solid, oak, iron banded. So definitely a well-constructed area you're in. So, as instructed, do you hand over your weapons?
Take out my quarterstaff and wander over to the Minotaur, and I kind of tap him on the knees and say, "Here you go."
Okay, so do you guys, we'll tell you guys how to unequip weapons. So you leave them in your inventory. When you go into your inventory, you'll see a shield, little shield symbol on the right hand side of each of your weapons there. You can just click on the shield and it will unequip it. So you'll need to do that with your shield as well, armor, because you will not be allowed to take your shield in either.
Yeah.
So make sure you unequipped any weapons. The weapons that are stashed, like I say, keep them in your inventory, just don't equip them at this point. So you remove all your weapons, you hand over your weapons, the Minotaur sort of starts collecting them, writes out the ticket and hands the stubs to you guys, hands the weapons over to the ogres. This ogre here opens this door, turns and disappears down this corridor, closes the door behind him. This Minotaur then moves himself, not onto his mate, moves himself out of the way, allowing you entry into the snake pit. You guys can now move yourselves, if you wish, down the corridor that you can see. So you'll literally see what you see as you walk into this large room. So move yourselves into the room itself, sort of spread out a little bit. Now, just to give a little bit of information before you move any further, the casino is the hub of the snake pit. It is dominated by 3 large gambling pits that are sunk 5 feet into the ground. You see many customers sitting at tables and wandering around the gambling tables. You got staff with drinks on trays and food. You see several bards sort of milling around the room, playing lutes and just keeping a general atmosphere. 2 main bars. You've got this large bar at the top here, which is probably the main bar, and you've got another smaller bar just down to the bottom here as well. You also see several large ogres wandering around with clubs. They are armed. These are obviously the guards as well. Just roll a quick perception check for me, everyone. So we got a 5 from Manus, 16 from Arme, 22 from Thrixel, and 11. So Arme and Thrixel, as you leave the entrance area and you walk your way into this area here, the one thing you both noticed when the ogre took the weapons from the Minotaur at the door, he sort of bundled them up under his arm, his big arm, and you saw him reach into like almost like a pouch or something on his belt, and pulled out a card of sorts and swiped it in front of the door, which then allowed him to go through the door before he closed it. So that's, store that away. You can either talk to that with your friends, momentarily, or you can keep that to yourselves for the time being. So for the time being, you're now inside this massive casino. Massive chandeliers with, seems, magical light lighting the interior of the casino itself. Several gambling tables with many gambling games going on. There's, looks like dragon dice at one table, cards at another. Just many forms of gambling. Plenty of drink and food to be had. Several doors you can see. A lot of doors, in fact. The door up this way, which you've probably seen at least one server enter and exit from. You've got another set of double doors here and here. Not sure where that goes at this point. Another set of double doors down here. And here. You notice a door behind the bar here as well. And another single door up here from where you are. So it is up to you what you do at this point. You know your task. You are to try and find Orphinius's personal office, which is believed to be beneath the casino. You weren't able to find out exactly where, however, in your research. You do know that to get to the lower levels, you're going to have to find your way into a staff area. That's about all you know.
Perhaps we spread out and see what we can hear in the crowd. Maybe we'll work our way to where we need to go.
Sounds like a good plan. I'm just looking at that door behind the bar over there. I wonder if that would be more apt to lead to the staff area.
How loud are you talking? I mean, there's a pretty good thrum in the room, so you would be able to talk
Not
at a
very
reasonable
loud.
level, but be aware that there are guards roaming around like this. They're not static as it would have on the map. They are walking around. There is staff walking around also.
I think we should play some games and talk to some people.
Yeah.
Do we know if like they have like coins or something that you have to like purchase type deal?
It's all done with gold. Look,
Can we
it's all,
tell? Oh, okay.
Looking around, you can see that it looks like they're playing for gold, silver, and copper. So more so
Okay.
gold and silver and platinum. You don't really see much copper on the tables.
Interesting.
Don't. I'm looking at the boys going, how much do you have?
Not a great deal, it seems. How much do you have?
I have 50 gold.
Yeah, 10 for that.
I've got 2 fish.
Okay, so there's 4 of us. If I change 40 gold into... Oh, if I just give you, if I give you 3 10 gold each, and then you can change it to silver.
Why change it to silver?
You can play more with silver.
Doesn't really matter either way.
It all works the same.
It'll work out the same, yeah.
I'll just give you guys 10 gold each.
Okay,
money, good
so you guys, Salanth has given you all 10 gold each to gamble with, it seems. Very generous of her.
Mm.
I'm gonna go sit at this table. Oh, not. I'm just gonna go over there.
As I say, you watch
I'll get
as the ogres move. They move their position frequently around the gambling areas and the tables. So that, as I say, they're constantly moving. The servers are also constantly sort of milling around. The bards moving around as well, changing their position from time to time. So move yourselves to where you are going to be. Arme's moved to the bar. Manus has moved down to a gambling pit. If you want to be more specific about where you move, hold shift when you move, and you can place yourself more precisely. Thrixel's gone down to one of the larger gaming tables. Arme's gone to the bar. Manus has moved himself. You're going to take up... okay, so we'll start with Arme. You set yourself down at the bar. We'll just zoom on you for a second. You can see a couple of bar staff behind the bar there. And this individual walks up to you. A halfling, female. Hey, love, what can I get you?
You wouldn't have salt water, would you?
Salt water? I mean, I can get you some water and we can put some salt in it from the kitchen. Easy enough.
Oh, that'd be perfect, thank you.
And we get all sorts in here. And so she sort of turns, heads towards the back of the bar. You can see sort of reach down, grab the water, and you can see it sort of slide open a hatch in the wall. Hey, go get some salt, please. And after about a minute or so, someone hands through a little bowl of what you can only assume is salt. And then she turns back and comes back towards you. All right, no charge for that, Sonny.
Oh, excellent. Would I have been able to see anything through the hole? Or
You would see that it was probably briefly looked like a kitchen area from where you could tell. You couldn't really get a good look, but it looked like it would be maybe a kitchen behind there.
excellent. You just sort of...
You're new here, aren't you? Haven't seen you in here before.
Oh no, it's my first time. My friends bought me. They've obviously been here before.
Yeah, we have a lot of that. Bringing people. Don't waste your money on the dice game. I think it's rigged, to be fair. But I mean, that's what gambling's all about, isn't it?
Oh, of course. That's the fun of it, isn't it?
Drinking, food, gambling.
You don't have any fish, do you?
I don't. I mean, yeah, that'd be I can ask one of the waiters. I'm just a I'm a barmaid. I mean, ask one of the. See the people. She points out behind. See them people with the trays. Talk to one of them. They might have some fish. You smell like you've been fishing. Or like if you just come in from the docks.
Oh yeah, just come off the boat.
Smells like it. You might. I mean, you might want to go have a bath. I mean, it's a bit whiffy.
When you've been on a boat for weeks, you gotta go out and have some fun.
Fair enough. Anything else?
That's good, thank you.
Right, you are. And she sort of
sit there and sort of listen to conversation around them.
Okay, roll a perception check for me. As she moves on to the next patron and starts to. You can see this one's probably a regular. Strikes up a conversation. Ooh, that was almost a better roll. No. Sort of, you catch bits and pieces of the conversation going on around you. Nothing overly interesting catches your ear. You hear someone talking about I just lost 100 gold at the dice table, and my wife's going to kill me when I get home, kind of deal. And you sort of catch him passing the Dragonborn sitting on the other side there, sort of griping about the price of the whiskey in the place, but at the same time it's good whiskey, so he's not really too worried about it. I mean, kind of the price is the price. But apart from that, you don't really get much else. Just general conversation.
Sweet.
So we'll leave you there for a moment. Are you going to remain at the bar for the time being?
Yeah, I remain at the bar. I can sort of listen to people.
Okay, we will move over to Manus. So Manus, you have found a table where there is a tiefling male, it seems. there is a dwarven female and looks like an elven gentleman. An elven female, my bad. At this table, and it looks like they're playing just a dice game. And they sort of, the tiefling sort of grunts in your direction. Are you gonna join? Or are you just gonna stand there gawking?
No, I've got money burning a hole in my pocket. I'll give it a try. I'm not familiar with this particular game, but
It's easy. We'll teach you. Right. All you got to do is you put your, it costs you gold to buy in. Each roll of dice, whoever gets the highest wins. Pretty simple.
yeah, it's exceedingly simple. Yes.
So, Ian,
Yes, and I'll grab 1 gold out.
so everyone throws 1 gold in, so 4 gold in the pot, and you can roll private. Both roll publicly. So 2d6. I'll roll for the tiefling first. Gets an 11. Roll for the dwarf. An 11. Might have a bit of a roll off here. We've got the elf. It's a 10. And your roll, Manus, lowest with a 4. So you lose your 1 gold, and the tiefling and the dwarf share the pot. So 2 gold. They split it 2 gold apiece. Simple, as I said. You want to go again?
Simple way to lose my gold, it seems. But yes.
Well, that's why they call it gambling.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to gamble, you shouldn't have come to a gambling den.
Yeah.
You don't look like you're around these parts. You look a little
I'm
soft.
Soft.
Where are you from?
A long way off. You wouldn't have heard of it. I'm far traveled. My colleagues, and he sort of points to the others, is like, we've sort of just gotten into town. Actually, we're trying to find our way. We heard about this place, but I don't know much about it.
That's the idea. We don't want people knowing about it. Certain clientele. Indeed, certain clientele. We wish to keep prying eyes from watching, if you get my drift. And the dwarven film, hey, no one wants to look at your ugly face anyway. The tiefling shoots for a bit of a scathing sort of glance, and the elf chuckles to herself. Well, don't mind them. They don't like losing. I'm better than they are. Would you like to roll again?
Yes, and I'll chuck another
So
gold in.
everyone chucks their gold in. This time the elf rolls first with a 5. The dwarf follows with an 8, and the tiefling with a 12 max roll. Double 4s. Unfortunately, Manus, you lose another gold, and the tiefling sort of laughs every time, and he scoops up the gold. And you see he's got a fair pile and sitting in front of him. He seems to be pretty lucky. And how do you continue to sit here, or do you continue to gamble, or do you just continue the conversation?
I continue to gamble and have the conversation.
Okay, we won't keep rolling, but we'll say for all intents and purposes, you win a couple of times, you lose a couple of times, so you won't lose or gain any gold. You sort of break even after about sort of 20 minutes or so. Anything in particular you wish to ask these individuals while you are gambling?
I want to know what they know about the person who owns this establishment.
Do you mention him by name?
No.
The dwarf sort of says, I don't know much about him. I know he's mean, but he runs a good place. That's why I keep coming back. tiefling sort of shoots you a look. Roll an insight check for me. As the tiefling sort of shoots you a hot glance at the mention of the owner. 13? Not bad. So with a 13, you get the impression he probably knows the owner personally with the look he just gave you. As if it was almost like, why are you asking? A real look of suspicion. And he sort of says, he runs a tight ship. Nothing gets past him. Eyes everywhere, shall we say. Watch yourself, newbie.
I'm just interested in work in the city, that's all. This establishment.
Oh, you're
seems
looking
like
for
it could
work.
use-
Ah,
I may look soft now, but the sword I brought in that's in the room over there, it's quite impressive.
oh, maybe I get to see it later. I might have a job to offer you later if you're interested. But for now, shut up and gamble. I got to win the gold from you. You took some away. It's time to get back. Right, roll a dice, and we will leave you there for a moment. We'll move on to young Solanth. You've worked your way over to a table. Looks like a couple of halflings at this table. A couple of halfling ladies, it seems. Oh, hello.
Hi.
What you doing? You want to play?
Well, I thought I'd love to play.
So they're playing a card game. It's basically just high-low. Really simple game again. None of the games seem to be overly complicated. So you might want to come and sit down, lass. You can't play from the stairs.
Oh, so I'll move around and.
So again, hold shift.
Myself, yeah.
Yep. Well, you're actually right there. You're fine there. Turn yourself around.
Face
So you
the
sit down at the table, and they say, "Hey, all you got to do is you just got to beat our card."
I'll give that a go.
So this is just a straight D6 roll. Highest wins. A gold buy-in, same as before. So they each pull their card. The first has a high card. Second, a low card. You get the lowest, unfortunately. So you all draw cards. The first one pulls an ace right away and says, "Oh, I'm not gonna lose with that. Sorry, dear."
Them's the breaks. It's okay.
You want to go again?
Why not? Why not?
So again, first one rolls. She pulls a mid tier card. Oh, she rolls a low card, and you pull an ace. You win 3 gold, just like that.
Well, you look at that.
Oh, beginner's luck, it seems.
I think so.
You don't look like the type to be in one of these establishments. And as you look at these two ladies, I mean, they're women, but they're dressed in sort of common clothing, but you can see that there's leather armor there as well. You can see that one has got quite a nasty scar across one eye, down one cheek. These are not your typical women. These girls are probably rough and tumble women, and you look very upmarket to them, shall we say. You don't look like you belong here. What you doing here, love?
Oh, just thought I'd try out the local establishment in town. And
Oh, how'd you find out about the place? It's not really well known.
oh, I couldn't say actually. I think came in with a group of friends, so they were around, scattered around. So I
Oh, I
got
see.
dragged.
Well, enjoy yourself. I promise not to, well, I don't. I will take all of your gold. Just so you know.
On the table.
All of it.
Oh.
If you
If
keep
you
gambling,
say
you'll
so.
lose it, I'm telling you. So once again,
That's
same
all right.
thing. You keep gambling back and forth. You win some, you lose some. You have a good laugh with the ladies. Is there anything specific you wish to ask them at this point? Bear in
So,
mind that this ogre is sort of wandering around. Oh, he just left the room. He came back. This ogre is wandering, sort of moves around from time to time. Eventually, like they do move away enough for you to speak freely.
Whereabouts would I find the powder room?
Ooh, I don't think there is one. Hey, there's no toilet in this establishment.
Oh my god, okay, that's fine. And what are the gentlemen like around here?
No, there is an area to go to, which is not labelled, but it is there. They tell you you have to go through. Well, actually, no. They tell you have to pretty much leave the establishment. Like they don't allow anyone to do that here. They got staff. They got a staff area, but you would have to leave and come back.
Oh yeah, no, okay. I don't need to go that badly. I was just wondering if this place had.
That's one thing that no one's ever asked before about a bathroom, and there's no bathrooms on this map, believe it or not.
Oh wow, there you go.
Next time I build a map like this, I'm putting bathrooms in, guys. I'm going to fuck you guys over. I really am.
So do you have any idea who I would talk to about perhaps investing in this establishment? Investing?
You would not. Oh, you would have to talk to the owner, I would imagine, but I don't think he would be wanting anyone to invest in his business. This is his place.
Just a little business venture I was
I've never met the man. I've seen him come and go occasionally, but I don't even know his name.
Oh. Oh, shall we carry on then, ladies?
Indeed.
Let's see if I can win some of my gold back.
And you carry on, and this is where we'll switch over to Thrixel. Thrixel, you find yourself at a table with a dwarf female, a tiefling female, a half-orc male, and a dwarven male as well. And it looks like they're playing a card game similar to blackjack. You're looking for 21 as a total. So generally how I run this game is we generally roll a d20 for your 10s and a d10, or two d10, basically a d20 and a d10. Actually no, two d10s. And if you get a 10, it's classed as an 11. We'll make it 2d10s. So you sit yourself down. The buy-in on this is a little bit more expensive. It's 2 gold buy-in. And the half-orc looks like he might be running this table. Place your bets. Are you playing or you watching?
I'm playing.
Right. Put your gold in. And everyone plays their cards out. So 2d10s from the first dwarf. She got a 13. Next one, the tiefling, with an 8. The dwarf. Ooh, that's a high one. So the one to beat now is a 14. And looks like the half-orc is the house. He is going to roll, and with an 18, so an 18 to beat. Unfortunately a 7. So with a 7, 10, sorry. You don't win, you don't bust out, but you don't win either. So you lose your 2 gold. The house wins on this particular moment. Are you then asking questions while at the table?
I'd more be listening to the conversation that's going on between the 3, or, well, the 4 of them to start.
Just listening to them.
Kinda just
So
be-
okay, so roll.
Yeah.
You're close enough approximation. You won't need to worry about perception. You're at the table, so the orc just seems to be running the table. He's not doing anything different. He's just sort of running the table. He's the house. The tiefling seems to be a little agitated. Seems to be down on his luck. He's not won very much. He's a little agitated and getting a little upset. The two dwarves are sort of backwards and forwards, ribbing the crap out of each other, and you get the impression they probably know each other. But other than that, it's general conversations. There's nothing really standing out about the establishment itself at this point. You continue to gamble.
I would actually go to find dice game.
So
After losing right away,
yeah,
I'd go to find a dice game because
So-
I like dice.
dice game, you know you're going to find in this pit here. Looking around, like if you would walk around, you'd find that Solance is a dice game. Manus is a dice game, but he's at a full table. Looks like there's a dice game going on over here as well.
And I would go over to that one.
Oh, move
Not
yourself.
trying to
Move yourself over
directly
there.
associate.
Okay, so you move yourself over to that table. Not a problem.
Yep.
Excuse yourself from the card table. The tiefling sort of gives you a grunt and a filthy sort of look for almost like coming in and kind of wasting his time a little bit. Sit down at this table, and the Dragonborn greets you. The halfling woman sort of looks up and gives you a nod, and Dragonborn says, "Hey, you're gonna gamble, are ya? Put your money on the table. Let's do it. Come on, hurry up."
I pull out 5 gold and set it on the table, just to have like a small stack there.
1 gold buy-in. Easy peasy. Two die 6 to roll. Highest wins. So
Fair
he
enough.
rolls his with a 7. She rolls hers. It's a 6. And double 2s for a 4. So you lose a gold. And the Dragonborn just grabs the gold and said, "Ha! Haven't lost all night. Who are you? What are you? You a lizard. I don't like your kind. Who let you in here?"
Scales are scales, brother.
And you see, sits up to his full height in a chair, and he's a bronze-scaled Dragonborn. Say, Scales, you lizard folk are nothing but trouble. Your kind attacked my village. Don't let me see you in the street. And he gets up from the table and refuses to gamble with you anymore. Heads towards the bar. Leaving you at the table with the halfling, who's happy to gamble with you. She doesn't say much. You hear a little bit of conversation from the table behind you, however. The tiefling behind you, you hear him and the half-orc sitting there. And at one point you hear him, the half-orc turns around and says, "Look here. You cheat again and I'm gonna smash your fucking face in. Don't do it again." And the tiefling says, I wasn't me, man. Like, I'm just lucky. I can't help it. This happens all the time. Don't keep your voice down. You don't want to. The guards will fucking smack you around the ears if you don't keep your voice down. And then you know what will happen. What happened last time? Bloody Mr. Stone will come out and kick us out again. So, with that, you are all in your respective areas. You're gambling, you're drinking. You're watching the crowd. You do see the servers sort of wandering around. We've got obviously these servers with trays wandering around. They sort of milling around. They stop at the bar occasionally, head back up. Arme, you would see them come in and out of this area, this door here, up to your left. You'd see one mill through and open this door and go through there and close the door behind her. And you would see, sort of glancing in, you'd see what looks to be a dining area, it seems. And then closes the door behind her. From where you are, Manus, you would see another server disappear and open this door. And again, you would see that dining area in there. At one point, I need Thrixel, Manus, and Salanth to roll a perception check for me, please. Natural 1 from from Manus. Jesus, Grim. Thrixel with a 23. Still waiting on Salanth. Perception check, please. Anytime soon. Nadi, perception check, please. Pay attention. Advantage for Grim. So an 8. So clearly Salanth isn't paying attention, which is why she got an 8. So Thrixel, you notice this door get opened. And you see what seems to be maybe a staffing area. Tables, a few people, as one of the servers sort of comes in, leaves for a bit and then comes back, closes the door behind them. So, what are you guys doing at this point? You've been here for maybe, let's say, an hour.
I'm going to ask the ladies if they know where I could get a meal.
And they point you in the direction of the dining room.
So I might head that way. That's up here, eh? Oh, I didn't mean to open that door.
Don't open the door, but yes, it is up that general direction.
I didn't mean to open the door. I meant to click on the wall. So I'm going to head over there.
So move yourself in that direction.
Yep. Oh, where'd I go?
You're still there.
Oh. I collided with a wall, apparently.
Yes, you have to go up the stairs. You're in a 5-foot pit.
Okay. Okay, I did it.
So do you tell any of your friends what you're doing?
I would say to Manus as I pass, I'm just going to go and check out the dining room. Would you want to come with?
Sounds like a plan. We need to work out what we're going to do next. There's so much to do in here. Well, if you excuse me, folks, I'm going to find something to eat. I'm quite hungry.
Alright. Might see you back later.
Don't spend all my gold at once. No.
Already spent. Do you let Thrixel know as you pass?
Yes.
So Thrixel, same thing to you. Salanth sort of calls out to both of you. Says, "Oh, I'm going to the dining hall. Going to the dining room." You would see Army on your way there too, if you wish to speak to him about as well.
He's at the bar now.
He is at the bar.
Actually, go and tap on his shoulder.
I may be looking around. You'll catch an eye with him, and he would see you all heading in that direction. So it would be obvious to Arme that you're going.
Yeah, definitely.
So you wouldn't have to go directly tell him.
Yeah, you'd make eye contact with him and say, sort of give him the eyes to the dining hall, the nod, like the whole, come on, dude, we're going to get some food. Same with you, Thrixel. If you are wanting to travel with your companions, it looks like they're heading to the dining room.
I would stay here and just kind of stay perceptive, talking to the halfling. And
Okay, no worries. Eventually, she would get up and leave. She runs out of gold, and she moves herself over to the bar. So you're pretty much
with
left
that, I would
seated by
probably-
yourself. So, I mean, you
I
can
would
move to a different
probably
table.
Then turn. I would go to the other table where the behind me.
Okay, so move yourself to that table. Looks like they're playing the same dice game. The tiefling there, again, this is the guy that's a little worried. He's been called a cheat. He's just obviously having a good night. And his friend, the half-orc, they sort of look at you and they look you up and down. They said, the half-orc says, you better have some gold. No cheapskates at this table.
You don't have to worry about that.
Well, no, I don't have to worry, because if you run out of gold or you cheat, you'll have to worry about them. And he points up at the 12-foot ogre that just walked past.
And
You don't look big enough to take one of them on, let alone 4.
you don't look big enough to take me on. Your point?
With that, he shoots a look to his friend, the tiefling sitting next to him. He says, sort of looks at you, get a load of this prick. You think you're a tough guy, do you? Hey?
Not necessarily tough. Maybe tough skinned.
Tough skinned. Anyone can be skinned, as they say. Dragons, lizards.
Tieflings.
I'm not a tiefling, mate. I'm an orc. Fucking dumb.
No, his friend's the tiefling.
Oh, you can skin him if you want. I don't care. He's a fucking cheat.
How loud is this conversation going on?
You guys wouldn't be able to hear it from where you are, with the music and stuff going on. I mean, you might catch bits and pieces of it. Maybe, maybe a slightly raised voice from the half-orc, but sort of as you look around, I mean, even he himself sort of catches himself as he raises his voice, knowing that he could get kicked out again. He's been kicked out before. So he sort of, and then he says, look, we're here to gamble, right?
Indeed.
So how about you keep your dick in your pants and get your gold out, and let's gamble. And the tiefling sort of says, well, you guys are going to gamble, I'm going to win. Just saying. I mean, I told you I'm lucky. I'm not cheating, right? Right, so I'll leave you there for a moment.
So be it.
Are you focused on the game, or are you taking note of what's going on around you as well?
I'm more focusing on this tiefling
Okay.
and what he's about.
No worries, we'll get back to you. So the others, you guys can move yourself into the dining room if you wish, because that's where you're going.
We'll leave Thrixel out there, let him stir the pot a bit. If there's any trouble, we'll hear it.
I would wait about 5 or 10 minutes so it doesn't look like they're all travelling as a group.
Okay. So as you get into the dining hall there, Salanth and Manus, you would see there's some empty tables. There's a couple of tables here with some people that are enjoying a meal. So move yourself to an empty table and take a seat.
Go to the back.
length anytime you want to move. Not on the table.
I want to dance though. No,
This
sorry.
isn't
You
that
couldn't.
sort
You
of
couldn't reach the table,
establishment,
short ass.
Oh, where did they go?
Up
Oh,
here.
it's because I keep scrolling out and then scroll back in. Where am I?
Grab your token and use your arrow keys to
Oh.
move.
Got it. Why?
Well, I'll just do it because you obviously can't. How hard is it to move your character? I mean, seriously. You're just really struggling, aren't you?
No.
So, Tim, you guys sit there for about 10 minutes by yourselves. The music from the other area stops. You can't really hear it anymore. You get a few of the same sounds you had from the inn, obviously. A little bit of conversation, but not too much else happening here. So what are you guys going to do for 10 minutes before Arme joins you?
I'm looking at Manus going, wonder what's through that door over there.
Yes, I didn't get much out of my gambling compatriots. Very tight-lipped in here, it seems.
No, I didn't either.
I do have a way to be more convincing, but I don't want to put all our eggs in the one basket, as it were. Need to work out which way we need to head before we make a move.
Nobody's been very forthcoming, which is why I'm looking at this. Can you see that doorway in the corner there? I wonder what's behind that.
You can ping the map. Don't open it, just ping the map. Right next to the door, hold your left mouse button and you ping the map.
There you go.
Certainly think maybe if I cause a distraction, you might be able to slip through. I doubt they'll be seeing through me, and he sort of like tries to acquaint himself in the corner. He's probably still not enough room for him. He's like,
Yeah, it's a little bit of a squeeze, but sort of butt rubbing up against the wall.
Once I'm through, I can actually make myself appear invisible.
We do need to work out which way we need to go. We can't be in here all night throwing away all the gold, because
Throwing
if
away
we
all the
don't
gold?
if we don't achieve what we've come here to do, then we're just going to be out of pocket.
Exactly.
I think Thrixel might have found himself a cheater. I think I
really?
overheard as we had was something said about cheating. The orc seemed rather upset. Half orc? Didn't get a look at his face.
Okay, shall we go for the sneaking through this door here? And what's the worst that can happen? I'm wondering if I should perhaps do a sneaky little... Oh, I could just run after that server as she's going through the door and say, excuse me.
She closes the door
I'll
before
be-
you get a chance to get to her.
I'm going to go and open it and be quite abrupt and say, excuse me.
Well, move yourself there then.
I did.
He turns around and says, you shouldn't be back here. Please, go back to your seat. I'll be with you in a moment.
I'll just walk through a little bit,
out, get out. Staff only.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Oh crap!
Shuts the door, like almost slams it. Like she wasn't happy about you being there at all.
So would I have seen not a lot through there?
You saw what you could see is the
kitchen.
kitchen. It is the kitchen. Like what
Okay.
you saw several cooks at a stove, and one was chopping meat. You can see him, big cleaver hacking on some meat on the chopping bench there. Definitely a kitchen.
I'll just say to Manus, oh, there's a kitchen back there, and didn't really see anything else. She wasn't very happy about me following her.
Could you see if it led around to the other door we were thinking about? There's probably no reason to go back there. I doubt his office will be on the other side of the kitchen. Unless he's a hungry man, and then...
This is true, but no, I don't think it went. I'm not sure. I didn't actually see, to be honest.
One particular ogre that seemed to be in front of a set of doors had me curious.
Maybe we could go and check that out next, but I think we should probably eat something while we're here, as this is the dining room.
Where is Ame? He's
I don't-
usually here for food. Or fish, at least.
Hopefully he won't be too far away.
And we'll smell him coming.
Indeed
He
you
needs
do.
to clean out that shell.
So, and speaking of Ame, as you are talking about him, you catch a whiff of 2-day-old fish as Ame strolls across the dining room. And
Ame.
Ooh, food time.
Yes. Can we perhaps lose the fish? Actually, I wouldn't mind having one of those fish if you've got one spare. Particularly pointy fish. Maybe a dagger nose.
good evening.
Good
Are
evening.
you ready to order?
Hello.
What sort of fish do you have?
No fish on the menu here. I'm sorry. Red meat only.
Do you have any red cod?
What part of no fish on the menu do you not understand, sir?
The part with no fish.
Deer, we have boar, which is kind of white meat, but we have the usual meats. Deer, boar,
for the
bear,
deer.
wolf, beef,
We'll have three
sheep.
of whatever you suggest. I'm sure you know what's best.
We do a wonderful beef Wellington, they call it, or beef Valonde, perhaps. But a gentleman by the name of Wellington came to Valonde once and showed us the recipe. It was quite lovely.
Three of those would be suitable, I think. Yes.
Of course. And how shall you be paying?
I'll give you money. What will it cost?
We can start a tab for you, and you can pay before you leave, of course.
Certainly. It's suitable.
What name should I have on the tab there?
Put Ame on it.
Ame, indeed, Mr. Ame. Right. So we have 3 beef Wellingtons with roast vegetables coming right up. Any drinks with that tonight?
I've still got some in my vessel from out there, but what do you guys want?
I feel a mead might be in order.
Honey mead,
Yes.
indeed. Times 2.
2.
I'll be right back. And she toddles off back through the door into the kitchen area.
So pleased it wasn't the one I followed, because she really wasn't happy with me.
It was definitely a different server. We'll leave you guys there for a moment. In fact, we will take a short break because we are running for 3 hours tonight instead of 2. So we'll take a short break. So pee breaks. I know Dill's just done that, but we're going to take a short break. 5 minutes.
Nutty needs coffee.
Nutty wants to make a coffee and be really loud, and I'll probably grab a drink in that as well. So cheers, chat. We are going to be right back. Give us a couple of moments, and we will return with some more Into the Snake Pit. Oh wow.
Yeah, they
Oh
went.
shit.
Fiddlestib is right, and this is not.
He's losing 10 HP per second, roughly. He's dead. What a they both died. No way. Oh.
Second, with all our doings, are you able to have eggs again?
I don't know. Never been to a medical professional about it.
I am pretty good medical professional. Would you like me to check?
Really?
Well, I have a lot of dealings as a cleric. We learned a lot about
Oh,
medicines and yes, I mean, I'll have to scratch you under the belly a bit.
What?
And I'll, I mean, only if you're comfortable with it.
How do you feel about this whole thing?
Well, I mean, if you're having my children and they're going to live a lot longer than I am, I don't know. It's a little
Oh wow, nice.
Right.
Nice. Beautiful
Oh,
cat can trap. Look at this. There's a frost trap there as well. He just come. If he didn't get the freaking stairs.
Excuse me.
Oh. Oh, what a. Oh!
Did you see that?
Dude, what a nade. I gotta
I'm
clip that up.
saving that, but did you see that?
Yeah, I clipped that, dude. That'll make it in. Oh, and then he goes in TKs.
yeah.
We go to the table.
Would you? Do you want
Pekka
to drink?
frozen again. Eyes crashed again. Oh no.
Feeble Stib went boom. He will be back. He has to tinker in the bathroom.
Carlos.
I got them all. Nice. Right. Someone's obviously got a sense of humor. That is all pineapple. It's a hot dog crust with all pineapple. No meat. No sauce. Just pineapple and hot and the fact that it has a hot dog.
How far away would you say it is, DM?
I would say probably within 40 or 50 feet of the road. Maybe 60
I put
feet.
my hand on Azalon's shoulders, and I speak in poetic form. Well, my friend, if you're gonna die, die with your boots on. And I give him bardic inspiration.
Bardic inspiration.
And say, Feeble Stib, what is the rule when we travel? No tinker and walking at the same time. What have you done? You remember that cow? That cow will never be the same. Boom. Now it has a peg leg because we walk and we tinker. You do not listen to me. You want me to have a peg leg? Thank God they have wine. Button there. I'll go sit at the table.
I'm kind of looking at the musket, going, Charlotte didn't mean it.
Charlotte.
Charlotte didn't mean it.
No. It's an accident, huh?
She went off.
She went off. I've heard it before.
At least the shield helped.
It hit my face.
I'm in behind mute, Blitz.
Oh, spectre me, I'm the best player on the planet. Where's the freaking staircase?
Spectate me, I'm the best player on the planet,
Shut
and
up,
where's
woman,
the fucking staircase?
I swear, you smell like spoons. Alright, watch this. Oh.
I swear you smell like spoons.
Just smell like.
I swear you smell like spoons.
I gotta clap that shot.
What the?
The creature attacks you with a 20, dirty 20 to hit Skathis. 13 points of force damage. Again, slams into your chest. And it's almost like it's
Today is my birthday.
Oh, right.
They grow bigger.
Oh, yes. Oh, shit.
Adok, you're a bard.
Clip
Sing us
that,
a song,
somebody.
my friend. That to babies.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
shit.
Fiddlestead is right, and this is not how you become heroes, by running away. Typical goblin attitude.
No, I've just... Look, I've got a bad feeling. I can't explain it.
What do I want to be? Do I want to be a red rhinoceros or a green rhinoceros? Or a red monkey, an eagle? Let's
You
go.
big green rhinoceros, you
I'll
big.
go red. I'll be a red angry rhinoceros.
Purple
Appearance.
rhinoceros.
We'll go click.
And I do it because of you. Just remember that. The end.
Whoa, that was heavy.
I know, I just pulled that out of my butt.
That was pretty damn cool. Actually, the reason I came in here was very, very similar. I came to tell you that I...
Alright, we're back. So, ladies and germs, we have our adventurers have managed to find their way into the snake pit. They've had their weapons taken from them. And Thrixel is out in the gambling hall still, while the others have ordered a meal and have started discussions. So we'll stay with you guys in the dining room at the moment. Your meal is ordered. It eventually comes. Beautiful plate. Nice big chunk. A nice piece of looks like pastry wrapped around a very nice piece of red meat. And roasted vegetables, so roasted root vegetables, carrots, pumpkin, potatoes, all that sort of stuff. No peas or anything like this. It's all roasted vegetables with a nice thick gravy over the vegetables as well. And you get your tankards of honey mead that you've ordered as well. So you now have your meal, and I'll turn it back over to you guys to discuss what you've learnt so far. At this stage, probably not a whole lot.
See, I was thinking, remember that spell I used when we were in Gaton to get us out after... That's right, we don't talk about it. I can adjust that a little to charm a large group of individuals, which I think would be quite fitting, but I think we need to know where we're going before I accomplish that, and maybe not even do it today. Maybe test the waters and come back and do the task fully informed.
Sounds like a good idea. I could always pretend, or one of us could always pretend to be a little bit drunk and fall through a couple of these other doors that I'm seeing around as well.
We could play the shell game. Remember that, Armor? That a few adventures back, we did that thing where you sort of collapsed and fell in your shell, and all the guards tried to come and help you out, and then while they were distracted with that, we bust through the door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the shell game. I mean, it's a casino. It's perfect.
Yeah, but if I died, there might... If they thought I was dead, they might use my shell as a roulette wheel.
Hear me? I mean, that would be dreadful. We'd surely come back before they. I just sort of start eating because I don't want to finish that sentence.
Or if I started spinning on my back, they might stick their balls on me, thinking I was a roulette wheel. Yep, that's the silence I was expecting.
Has
That
anyone
drink nearly
seen
came out everywhere.
Thrixel? And
That's a good segue. Has anyone seen Thrixel? When we will switch over to Thrixel for a moment. While you guys continue your meal. Back out in the casino, it's Thrixel. You're sitting at this table. You've been gambling a little while now with your gambling mates. The half-orc, he's definitely rough around the edges. He doesn't take any shit. Gets a little loud from time to time, and even one of the ogres sort of comes over and goes, "Oi, keep it down or you're out of here." And he sort of quietens down pretty quickly. And you can see, without even any kind of insight check, you can see that the tiefling is kind of like, he's really concerned that, like, shit, I don't want to get kicked out again. And eventually he sort of says, I think I need a break. I'm gonna head over to the bar. And you can see he's kind of a little not upset, but he's just really nervous. Makes his way out of the pit and heads over to the main bar. Do you follow him, or do you stay where you are?
I would not necessarily directly follow him, but I would like stroll down to this bar, the other opposite bar, get a drink, and then make my way over to sit next to him.
Okay, so move yourself over to sit next to him, and yeah, easily enough done. You move yourself out of. You excuse yourself from this guy. He seems a little bit pissed off that you're leaving the table, but you move yourself over to the small bar. You buy yourself a drink. Drinks are cheap enough, and you move yourself to the empty chair next to this tiefling. And as you do so, he sort of looks over at you and gives you a nod, and says, "Sorry, I just." He gets a bit loud and a bit carried away, and man, got us kicked out last time. Got roughed up a little bit. Don't really fancy to happen again.
Is he a friend of yours, or?
Friend is a pretty loose term, to be fair.
So more of an acquaintance.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like a workmate. Like we work on the same farm. And you sort of see, you can see by look that farm, he's not exactly, like when he says farm, it's kind of like air quotes farm. You get an impression that and probably not in the most legal of businesses.
So how often do you partake in the indulgences here?
A couple of times a week. Cheap drink, good food, and the gambling's pretty good. I mean, I said I'm pretty lucky. Upsets him, but it is what it is. So, why are you here? You don't look. I mean, you really do kind of look like the type that should be here. You don't work for Mr. Stone, do you? You're not here to chuck me out or find out why I win all the time. Are you? Or you are, aren't you? You're gonna throw me out. You can see he's getting a little nervous.
I'm here to get my money. That's all I'm here for.
Well, you can win your money back fair and square. I mean, if you want to try and rob me, I mean, the ogres will fuck you up. I'm telling you. I mean,
if I were here to rob you, you definitely know it.
I don't know anymore. Mr. Stone, don't get on his bad side.
You know
whatever
him?
well, again, loosely. I owed him some money, so I've done some work with him, and
work.
Just don't get caught cheating.
Sounds interesting.
Well, again, work
can
in a
always use
loose
work.
term. I mean, depends on which side of the law you want to be on.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, lizard folk are on your side of the law. If I'm taking what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, lizard folk around here. I mean, we don't see them in the city at all generally. But there's a clan, a large group of them, to the north of Valonde. They attack travelers and kidnap and murder, and you know, I mean, that's why most lizard folk are, excuse me, but they're real pricks, to be fair.
My clan is no more, so I can't say the same for my clan, but
You seem like you're a little less assholey than the ones that I've seen before. So, listen, piece of advice. Don't go where you shouldn't go. Don't fuck with the guards. Because they're not, I mean, they may look like simple ogres, but they're not just your average ogre. Let me tell you that. Whew, and those minotaurs, whew, they will just kill you without question. Or they'll put you in prison.
Noted.
And then Mr. Stone will do what he does, and you don't want that. You don't want to be a personal guest of Mr. Stone. Let me tell you that right now. Ever. And you didn't hear that from me. Okay?
I heard it from that guy.
That guy.
I just kind of like point over my shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
And I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder and make my way to the dining hall.
And he almost flinches when you pat him on the shoulder. Like he's still relatively nervous. And it looks like he's probably going to get ready to leave soon. So you make your way over to the dining hall. You can see these like doors. The doors are here and here. You can go through any one of those doors.
Yep. Ooh.
I'll open them for you. Might as well just leave those open.
See them.
Yeah, you'd see Salanth up the top there, and you'd easily join them. The dining hall doors are generally kept closed to keep the music out. It's a nice. I'll say it's a really nice room. The tables are really nice. The floors are nice, sort of black marble floor, and it's a nice quiet place out of the hustle and bustle of the main casino. And you are now all sitting. You don't have any food, Thrixel, however. But eventually one of the servers would come out and ask you if you would want to join your friends in the same. And you would order your food. Be brought out to you. It's now up to you what you wish to discuss. Turn it over to you guys.
Learn anything interesting, Thrixel?
Well, I kind of look around. I guess these ogres aren't just ogres. There's something special about them. And Mr. Stone is quite a dick, so I hear. And the Minotaurs might just kill you. But, I mean...
Huh.
So
I wouldn't want to do anything too rash.
Yeah, I think getting acquainted here would be in our favor.
So perhaps come back again tomorrow and the next day?
I mean, becoming a regular could be in our benefit.
It's certainly not something that should be rushed. Especially not without our weapons. If we had our weapons,
And
maybe.
another thing I was thinking of is maybe that fellow. What? I can't remember his name.
Nillaby, the guy that hired you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nillaby Gueton.
Nillaby. May need to ask him for some money. Because in gambling, you know, there's usually private rooms. So maybe higher stakes, come back for a while, win some money, find the back room. You know?
There's certainly a few different avenues we could take. The cheater. Did you catch him cheating, or?
No, he's a resourceful fellow.
There's certainly a lot of ways to cheat. I mean, magic, or loaded dice, perhaps?
He didn't seem to be cheating with anything obvious that I noticed.
Loaded dice, I'm sure, would be noticed.
Or maybe it was the orc fellow, the loud orc fellow. Maybe he was up to something nefarious and he was using his colleague as some sort of distraction.
I will say, keep your eyes peeled for a bronze dragonborn around me. He's kind of a dick.
Does he work here?
I have no idea, but he threatened me.
You didn't bite him, did you?
I wanted to.
Got to let go of your baser instincts, Rixel. Talk first, bite, like, not even a second, like, down the line for answers.
So talk, stab, bite. Got it.
Should get you something to eat, something you could actually chew on.
Wonder if they have a massive bone.
You realize I still eat food, yes?
I meant a massive bone around some meat? No. I know what I mean. You know, big meat round bone. Something to really get your teeth into.
This conversation's going to end well, is it?
Big bone and meat.
She wants to get some meat. She wants a good bone.
Well, with the smell coming from you, I don't think anyone's mind's going to be on that kind of bone.
In him saying that, I'm going to cast Prestidigitation and put a nice waft of floral scent around our friend Ame.
It just mixes with the fish smell, and it's not pleasant. If anything, it turns it into toilet freshener smell. Like, it's just not good.
Yeah.
Like that real florally toilet freshener that you spray around it. Like, you get the auto spray that gets in the public toilets. It's disgusting. It makes it worse. Mixes with the smell of 2-day old fish, and it's not pleasant. If anything, it makes it worse, not better.
I'm sorry.
Can't believe they don't have fish here.
I'm pleased they don't have fish here. I don't think you need any more fish.
It's already too much fish.
Eat your fish. I'm just going to ask a really silly question. I should probably know this by now, Thrick, so I do apologise. You eat cooked meat? I haven't actually taken much notice.
It depends on the food. I mean, not all food you eat is really food to me. Or, in my opinion, food. I mean, cooked is a odd term.
You should try this beef. What did she call it?
Red Leg Wellington.
A Wellington. You should try this Wellington. It's really, really good.
Named after a gentleman, apparently. I don't think it's... I mean, it's beef, so... It's probably not a gentleman.
At this point, Surik sort of mills back in. She's come down through here to see these people down here. And on her way back, she sort of stops and spies the extra person at your table. Oh, I see you have another guest. Would you be wanting food as well, sir? Perhaps.
Indeed.
Would you want be wanting the
smile.
same of the as your companions, perhaps?
Maybe on the rarer side?
Oh, of course, and a drink.
Wine?
Ooh, a connoisseur. I'll be right back. This time she leaves the door open. And she heads into there, and you guys can hear, from where you are, you can hear the chatting going on, you hear the cooking, you get a waft of smells coming from the kitchen, cooking meats and roasting vegetables, and you can hear the sizzling of whatever's going on in there. And she's gone for about 10 minutes. Yeah, you can lean over and peek. You can move your token over so you can see more of what's there, so we can show the viewers as well. So you sort of lean over in your chair, and move your token back there, so we'll show the viewers what you can see. Yes, just leave it there for a second. As you can see, we got it's not a huge kitchen, but it's serviceable. You got two or three cooks in there, it seems. You can see as you sort of peek in, this room looks like it moves around to potentially maybe you're not sure what's around this corner, but you can see it sort of goes around that corner. Sees another corner down here, which you can't really see what's going on, but maybe that's where it enters in from the bar side, perhaps. As you can sort of assume that's where that is. But it's a relatively good size, and they're all wearing a similar uniform. You can see that the uniform that Salanth was able to get, all of the staff are wearing a similar sort of uniform. The pants are like their pants that are all different, but the top they're wearing is all very, very similar. The cooks is slightly different, but all the wait staff, the bards are all wearing a very similar sort of tunic, coloured tunic to signify that they're staff. And eventually she turns and heads back, so you can head back to your seat. And she turns and comes back and brings you your food and your wine. She brings a small, like a decent sized glass of wine. There you go, sir. Enjoy. And it's rare, like it's got pastry around it, but you can see down the center of it that it's open ends, and it's bloody rare. Like it's looks like it's probably been cooked for a few minutes, if that, and it's exactly how you like it. They're generally pretty good at their job here. And she disappears back into the kitchen, and from sight again, leaving the door open. It seems she may be forgetting herself.
I wonder how hard it would be to get a job here.
I mean, we did get that outfit. It's possible you might be able to get to places that the rest of us can't. We certainly need to know more.
Might inquire with that server when she comes back how hard it was to actually get employment here.
What they clearly need is a good fish here.
Speaking of work, that cheater, I'm gonna put air quotes on that. He's done some work for the big guy. You want to call it work.
One of the people at my table, one of the tiefling, in fact, mentioned something about maybe having work for me. He sounded a little bit dubious. But, might be worth checking into.
It's kind of interesting that they're both tieflings.
Profiling is wrong, Thrixel, you know this.
A coincidence.
Unfortunately, the ladies at my table were just there for gambling. Couldn't really get anything out of them. How did you get on at the bar, Ame?
Well, I saw there's a hole in the wall, and behind the hole in the wall was the kitchen. Yeah. Didn't really see anything. I didn't find any fish.
Now, Thrixel, you did see, if you remember rightly, the opening of the doors at the lower end of the casino, which looked like another staff type area as well, to the east when you were gambling. So whether you want to share that with the group or not, it's up to you.
I'm just kind of thinking about that Dragonborn. Not in a, like, oh, he's gonna kick my ass kind of a way. More like, just, it's on my mind.
I have to say, we've been traveling together for some time now, and it never struck me that you'd be a wine drinker, Thrixel. It's quite sophisticated.
There's a lot people don't know about us lizard folk.
You think there might be something to this Dragonborn you mentioned? Maybe a way in?
He's kind of... Well, he said that his town was attacked by lizard folk. Don't know what to do with that.
Unfortunately, that's not uncommon. We heard with the squirrel and hydra, it's a common occurrence, it seems.
Much different than my clan.
Well, you know what a classy drink is? Try this, and he sides his drink over the most. This is a classy drink.
What is Ame drinking? Oh, salt water, that's right.
Salt water.
Well, I give it a try. I'm like, did you dunk your fish in this? Oh.
No, but that is a great idea.
Please don't encourage him.
There are a few clams short of a seabed.
We know what he's like when it comes to his fish. Just...
I wonder if that's why we don't see too many turtles about. They're all mad, quite mad. They don't live very long.
Yes, they live surprisingly short considering how long tortoises live.
Is everything to your satisfaction, dears? There's another different server altogether this time. Our approach to the table.
Yes. Can I ask a question?
Of course.
How would one go about getting employment here? Just out of interest.
One does not. One gets asked. Generally, one knows other employees, and I work here because my brother works here, and other friends of our family work here. It's a very family orientated business, or family and friends.
Okay.
One must know certain people. I believe. I do not believe they advertise for employment. If that's what you're asking.
It's a shame. I've got a niece that's coming in for a holiday, and she was looking like a travelling holiday. She's going around doing a big world tour.
Right. May I suggest the Squirrel and Hydra then?
That seems like a nice little place.
Indeed. Anything else?
Oh, another mead would be amazing, thank you.
Of course. And she toodles off and eventually comes back, and this time, this one shuts the door behind her as she walks away.
I kind of want to like lean over, kind of look her up and down, check her out a little bit.
She's human, not unattractive, but not super attractive either. Seems that seems from what you guys have observed so far, the bulk of the staff here are human, halfling, a couple of elf, as well, a dwarf or two, a couple of half orcs running tables. Apart from that, all of the security you've seen so far have been ogre and minotaur.
Right, so maybe having you dress as one of the staff isn't a good idea if they're all so closely knit.
I was kind of half hoping that even could get into the kitchen or something as a cook, but no, not a good idea.
You know, I'm sitting here thinking about this. And all the guards, you'd think they're kind of dumb, in a sense. But they don't seem dumb.
In what way do they seem intelligent? I mean, they're just patrolling.
The Minotaur and the ogre kind of, they don't normally just work with people. It's got me wondering what this Mr. Stone is all about. Is he just, a business owner? Or is he some manipulative, bigger fish to fry than what we think?
Did you say fish?
Ogres make good muscle, this is true, and they tend not to ask too many questions, generally speaking. Minotaurs, I don't think they're unintelligent, but they certainly better at brute force and sort of thinking their way out of things. I mean, we don't even know what
easily
Mr. Stone
swayed.
is.
My thought is, we probably shouldn't be talking too much about this here.
I just had that same thought. I'm wondering, they wouldn't have like listening devices, do you think? Little pixies around the place? She looking around kind of suspiciously.
I'm gonna pick up the centerpiece.
Nothing there.
Maybe we should go back to the Squirrel and Hydra and sit down and have another talk about this.
You can do some more research too. If you have, I would say if you had another 40 to 50 gold, you could do some additional research. And I would
I also have.
roll. Can someone roll
I
a
also have-
coin flip for me? Can someone do a coin flip? I want to see how much gold you've won collectively. We'll see. Tails. I would say that collectively, with the time the three of you were gambling, that collectively you would have won about 30 gold between you, in addition to what you have in your bags currently. So another 10 gold apiece you would have won on top of what you currently have.
So how much does that give us altogether? I've got 30 in my bags.
So 30 plus 10, Nutty.
So I've got 40 in my bags now.
So the three that were gambling won 10 gold each.
Okay. Yeah.
30. I've got 30.
So yeah, so you would know that with the research you've previously done, you could probably, if you were wanting to leave and to do some further research, it's going to be more bribery. So it's going to cost you probably about anywhere between sort of 40 and 50 gold to do a little bit more research into another way to get in. Perhaps it's less front door. I mean, you know about the potential entrance in the sewer. You know it's guarded, but it may be maybe a more direct approach through the sewer might be your better option at this point.
I've got some fish down there.
And there could be fish down there. You never know.
I'm not muted.
Maybe if we grease the right wheels, we might be able to find another way. The finding employment here seems to be a no-goer.
Well, actually, thinking of that, I'm gonna be probably like half done with my food. I'm gonna stand up and I'm going to go check if that guy's still here.
Okay, so don't leave the area. I can tell you
Right.
that you sort of go out and you scout around the bar and have a look, and it does not seem that he is. You can't see him directly. Like, you have a quick look around. Roll a perception check for me. $15. Yeah, you can't spot him. You see the half orc still there at another gambling table, and he's still not happy. And eventually what you notice is one of the ogres literally just grabs him by the scruff of the neck, picks him up, and says, "That's it, you're out," and takes him towards the entrance. He was getting loud and obnoxious, and obviously a little bit too drunk. So you've seen firsthand that the ogres are definitely onto it. They're watching very closely, and the moment someone even looks like they're going to cause trouble, they get ousted pretty quick.
Start to walk back and kind of meander back. Well, so much for that idea.
I did like your idea about the big spender, though. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe they have a place in this establishment for people who've got a little bit more coin than your average person.
That's kind of what I was going to talk to that cheater about. Maybe I can look into him another night. Maybe figure out where he's about, what he does for work during the day. Trail him.
It's not a bad idea.
Because he did say he works on a farm, but it's giving me a little not so farmy vibe.
I mean, he's in Valonde. Sort of farm.
I mean,
Maybe we spend a little bit more time out at the tables. Have a look around, see if there's maybe get a gauge on comings and goings. I mean, if there's a room for particularly wealthy clients, surely there must be people headed in that direction.
this is true.
They don't have any restrooms here either. You have to leave to find a bathroom.
Oh, that's
What I will say is that because there's no actual bathrooms on the map, but I would say there would be bathrooms available for the patrons, which would be at towards the entrance. There's another set of stairs that you guys probably would have noticed as you came in, and we'll say that area is the bathrooms.
The architect of this place must have been quite out of his mind.
Yeah. But in future, I'm going to put a bathroom in every map just so that no one asks about the bloody bathroom. I thought I got away with it because trash is the one that asks about fucking bathrooms normally.
This is me you're talking to.
So
I was like,
fucking you guys in your toilets, man. I mean, come on.
Well,
what you're saying
I
is
could
this is
go to the
Trashy's
loo and
This
see
is
if there's
Trashy's
anything
fault.
else in that bloody corridor, you know?
I mean, you would know that the place, like where you go, you would have seen where the bathroom access is out the front where those ogres were. There would have been another staircase which led to a bathroom area, and I mean the bathrooms themselves are not policed per se, but the ogres and the minotaur at the front entrance are close by. So you, in your times like visiting the bathroom since you've been here, you would realize that there's not much you could do with the bathroom. Like, it doesn't go anywhere. It's at the very entrance of the casino. It's not like it's in a back room somewhere where you could slip away into a back area without being noticed. The doors you have noticed from the main casino, which would lead to a back area, you've noticed that obviously the double doors where the ogre was standing quite a lot, which Manus did notice. He didn't really leave that post much at all. The double doors which Thrixel noticed, which led into a back area. Obviously, you looked into the kitchen, and there possibly is another door from the kitchen which may lead into a back staff area as well. And there was another couple of doors leading from the main area which could lead to, again, back areas which you don't know of yet. You hadn't seen anyone else leave in those areas. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to investigate further. If you want to spend, so someone was talking about spending maybe another hour or two just around the place, drinking, gambling, and just watching and seeing what they could see.
Yep.
So you guys want to move yourselves back
Sounds
out into the casino then, into the main casino room, and we'll make some rolls, and we will see what you guys can see and notice.
I would wait for them to go out. I'd just wait a minute or two.
Nutty's having problems
Do you
moving.
still have control
moving
of my
again.
token?
No, you've always had control of your token. If you can't move it, that's on you. It's very much a you thing. Use your arrow keys. Stop closing doors. You guys are terrible. I will take door control away from the person that keeps fucking with the doors though. That seriously pisses me off. So put yourselves in the casino where you think you would sort of hang around and do your thing and sort of watch whether you're going to be gambling or not. Put yourself at a gambling table, whether you're going to go back to a bar. Is Ame a gambler or is he just a drinker? He's a saltwater drinker.
Would that give me line of sight on those double doors there?
Can you see them?
Yeah.
Well, then that answers your question, does it not?
Okay.
Mind you, you're 3.5 feet tall, aren't you? You're in
Exactly.
you're in a 5 foot. You're in a 5 foot pit, so no.
Okay.
The pits are 5 feet, set 5 feet into the floor. So for you, no, you probably wouldn't. So you would have to be up, maybe observing, because you do notice that as much as he's not everyone that's in here is on this map. So you will notice sort of around these areas here, there'd be people standing with drinks, watching other people gamble as well. So it's not just strictly about everyone. Not everyone has to gamble.
I'm just gonna stand there and watch, keeping a weather eye on these double doors as well.
So are all of you observing the goings on in this room.
Manus wants to go talk to this ogre in front of the doors.
Okay, you approach him. He's sort of standing
Excuse me,
almost
sir.
upright, sort of with his club. You see he's got his club sort of, and it's not in his hand, it's sort of in his belt, like it's attached to his belt somehow, and he's sort of standing with his hands clasped in front, sort of looking around the room.
Excuse me, sir. I was wondering, is there a place in this establishment for someone who's got a little bit more coin than your average patron?
Gambling tables.
Just this room here.
Yep. Everyone gambles the same.
Do you gamble at all, sir?
I work here. Does it look
Surely
like
you
I
have some
gamble?
downtime.
Does it look like I have downtime? You see the bags under his eyes.
Oh, good sir. Rest is important. Oh. Well, I won't trouble you further. Maybe ask for some time off. You look like you could use it. And I'll scoot off.
He sort of he cracks. He almost cracks a half grin, but he doesn't seem upset or anything, or like super tired. You can obviously see that he probably works some pretty long hours.
I'm gonna start a union movement. That's how we're going.
So we'll move over to Amir. So Amir, you just drinking salt water at the bar, just observing, just looking around, watching people?
Yeah. Fish on one hand, leaning on his chest with his back against the counter.
No worries. Roll a perception check for me. Perception. Ooh, that's a good roll. 21. So as you're watching, you do see this bar, like the bar, there's two bar staff behind the small bar. You see the door behind him. You see this barman leave through this door behind him on a couple of occasions. And you don't, from your area, you can't really see what's behind it, but it definitely looks like it's a corridor of some sort. Reasonably well lit. You also notice that down here, again, this ogre on occasion will sort of go through those sets of double doors. And there's a single door just to his south as well, which you see, again, he goes in sort of about 10 minutes and comes back out, and then goes in this door. Again, from your distance, you can't really see what's there, but there's definitely doors there. Definitely a staff area. You do see the occasional single staff member, like one of the bards will take a break and head through those double doors, and then after about half an hour will come back, sort of thing. So you get the impression that this area where these double doors are, where the ogre is down here, is probably like a staff canteen type area, like a lunchroom type deal. It seems that's where most of the staff go, and are gone for sort of 15 to 30 minutes and then return. Almost pretty obvious that that's maybe a staffing rest area. Apart from that, you don't really see much else. You get the patrons coming and going through the main entrance. At one point, you thought you might have heard a bit of a ruckus, and if you stepped out, sort of looked down the hallway, you'd see some poor human has just been grabbed by one of the ogres and has been lifted up by one arm and is shaking him all about, and out drops a dagger and a sword. He's trying to get weapons in the building and has been caught. And then you see him get punched in the face by the ogre, and then they sort of disappear out of view. You're not sure what happened to him, whether they just took him out of the place or what, but they roughed him up pretty bad before they did whatever they did. Manus. Not Manus, we'll switch to Salanth first quickly. So Salanth, what are you specifically looking for?
I'm just watching this guy here. Just to see.
Oh, he's watching that ogre. He doesn't move. He stays where he is.
And seeing if anybody comes out of these doors.
Nobody does. You watch for maybe an hour. No one comes in and out of it?
I'm gonna go up and say to him, how's it going?
God, what is it with you lot tonight? It's the second person to come up and talk to me. I'm here to do a job. You're here to drink and gamble, right?
I just thought you looked rather handsome standing over here.
He sort of
flutters her eyelashes at him.
Interesting. Roll a persuasion check for me. I just gotta do something here. Whew. So he almost blushes. He says, well, you're a little small for me. Might hurt you. But thanks. Appreciate it. And he sort of stammers and kind of stutters a little bit. You can see you've got him a little flustered.
Can I buy you a drink?
Oh, I'm working. No.
Oh. When you're on your break, perhaps.
Maybe, perhaps, possibly. I don't know.
Ooh,
Maybe.
Okay. I'm just going to be over here. And she saunters back to where she was.
You definitely got him a little flustered. Like, he's obviously not used to that kind of behavior at all. Like, he's like, wow, if you glance back at him every now and again, he sort of just shifts on his feet and like he's fidgeting and a little red in the cheeks, a little flushed.
Oh, I'll just quickly go back over. I forgot to ask your name.
Grog.
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 Oh.
That's my brother, Grog, over there. Greg. And Greg over there.
Oh, so it's a family affair here.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Thank you, Grog. I'll buy you a drink when you're on your break. Just winks and
he just
back to where she was.
He halfway giggles and sort of flat. He seems a little out of sorts at the moment. So leave that with you. Thrixel, what are you doing? Back at the gambling table, it seems. Gambling some more. I'll get you to roll a d12 for me, please. We're gonna see how much gold you've won and lost in this sort of hour.
I was gonna try to get them to see if they wanted to raise the stakes a little bit, maybe double down a little bit.
Roll a persuasion check for me. As the dwarf says, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good for that. I've been winning all fucking night. It's great." The other two said no. The other two no. The pale blue skinned tiefling says, "Oh, no way, no. I'm struggling to keep the gold I've got." And the elven gentleman says, I really would like to, but my wife might object if I lose too much. I think keep the stakes as they are for now. Roll a d12 for me. So you managed to win another 8 gold in your time at this gambling table. If you're looking, so what are you just focusing on the gambling, just talking to them, general conversation?
Well, yeah, I'd obviously, since the dwarf was very inclined, I'd be kind of pushing him, like pressing him for like other folks that, play for bigger stakes.
Well, not here, generally. No high stakes games here. It's very strict. Mr. Stone runs a tight ship. But we have a private game going every now and again at the docks. higher stakes. If you're interested, maybe come and Thorin's the name. Come and catch me up at the docks. I work down there.
Dixel, nice to meet you.
Hey, likewise. Give me a chance to win some of me money back. You've had a stroke of luck.
When you say higher stakes, are we talking tens?
100 gold buy-in minimum. High stakes games. Winner take all. Looking 5k gold generally is the maximum that can be won. It's a pretty intense game.
Fair enough.
If you've got the gold, then might see you there.
Likewise.
All right, let's keep going. I've got a chance to win my gold back. And if you're trying to observe anything else, or are you looking for information just from this table?
I was just focusing on this table.
Okay, so
mainly him.
General conversation backwards and forwards. The tiefling sort of hints that the house generally is the winner here. Obviously, when you get into the bigger table, like the private tables, these smaller tables are more of a private game between individuals. He warns you to try, but stay away from the tables that are run by staff, because everyone knows the house always wins. He says, but don't. He says it in sort of a hush hush thing. He says, don't let any of the guards or Stone hear you talking like that. Otherwise, you won't be seen again, kind of thing. The general impression from the table is that Mr. Stone is not to be messed with. He's doesn't just have this place. He has many places around, not just in Valonde but across the realm. He's well connected and is not a man to be messed with. That's pretty much all you get from that table. Manus, back to you. You've moved to a table with the couple of halfling women that Solanth was gambling with before. They're getting a little tipsy. And they hello! Oh, you're a big one.
Yes, I heard from my friend that you two were quite delightful to gamble with, and I thought I'd come over here and...
Well, I would say take a seat, but it looks like you've already got one.
Yeah, I carried it around with me. It's quite attached.
Indeed.
Sort of like couple.
And she sort of reaches down and probably uncomfortably strokes the leg, the front leg of your forequarter. Ooh, very strong.
Yeah, yes. Shall we gamble?
Oh, indeed. Roll a d12 for me. We'll see whether you win or lose any gold. Well done. 10 gold. Manus manages to win from these two ladies over the course of the next sort of half hour, 45 minutes. General conversation backwards and forwards. They are quite delightful. They're again getting a little tipsy. The one getting a little handsy with the centaur. Not completely inappropriately, but just a little sort of touching the hand as you're betting, and giggling with you whenever you make a bet and maybe tell a joke, and she sort of over the top laughs at the joke a little bit. You know how it goes. Any specific questions that you would ask?
Just ask if they're here often, if they know anything about the folks that run the place, and anything to look out for.
The one that's a little tipsy sort of seems to be quite free with any information she gives you. Oh, Mr. Stone, he's a sweetheart, really. He's got a bad rep, but he's not so bad. And the other one sort of, you hear her go, oh, and you roll an insight check for me as she sort of jumps back in her chair a little bit as she goes to continue to speak. 16. Yeah, you know full well that her friend has probably just kicked her under the table, informing, warning her not to say too much. Almost, the look she gets shot across the table is like, shut up, kind of thing. And she goes, "What you do that for? Ow! Oh, he's all right. He's not that bad."
Does he come out here much?
Oh, we see him a little bit. Shoots a scathing glance back at a friend across the table.
Who should I be on the look at? I'm not even sure.
Her friend says, "You're asking a lot of questions."
Very inquisitive gentleman. And you seem to have stopped gambling. I fear that I may have taken you for all you're worth, madam.
Wow. Shut up! And she sort of downs her drink. Just be careful who you ask questions around here. People disappear for shit like that, you know?
Well, if I get you a drink, you could disappear that, and I'll order some drinks.
And the drinks come, and she doesn't deny it. She takes the drink, she makes it disappear. Quite swiftly, in fact. And the conversation goes backwards and forwards like that for a little bit. The information that you do get from the less abrupt woman, I mean, if you play the flirtatious game with her a little bit, she seems a little free. She literally says that she's heard that there's a great vault beneath the casino floor that houses untold riches, and that she points to the door, in fact, over in this area here, up in the top right. She goes, "That door over there." She hushes her voice down. "You go through that door, you go up the hallway, another door up there. If you can get in there, I think that's how you get down to the vault. It's down there. I didn't tell you that." And then she gets, "Ow!" And she gets another boot under the table from her friend. She goes, "That's it. Time to go." And with that, they both, they get this. The other one gets her up, drags the other one out, and they start heading for the door.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, so a little bit of information there, perhaps. It is starting to get late in the evening, like probably looking, it's probably just past dinner time now, so that you guys have been here for a few hours, gambling backwards and forwards, observing people. You observe the ogres come and go. They generally there's always at least two in the main floor at all times. Very rarely do they all leave. It's normally like one will leave to go for a break and three will remain. Maybe two will leave at one time, but there is always two at least on the main floor. You watch other staff members come and go through the doors, the double doors down to the south of the map there. No one goes to that room where that one ogre remains. He swaps out with someone else at one point, but no one enters that room. Apart from that, it's business as usual. You've got an idea now where the staff area is. You know where you'll probably need to go if you want to get down to the bottom, the undercroft of this place, perhaps. Maybe a little bit more research is needed. So I'll hand it back over to you guys now, as it is starting to get a little late. Like I say, you've been there for several hours. What you decide to do at this point is up to you, whether you want to remain and continue your observations, or you want to leave and perhaps come back the next night and make another attempt to find your way to Orphinius's personal offices.
I think we should probably leave and come back tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah.
That half orc that I was gambling with earlier, he's still there?
No, he got picked up and kicked out.
That's right.
He got kicked
taken
out.
That's
yeah,
right.
He got kicked out. He was getting too rowdy, and the guards kicked him out. And you saw
And
that, all of you would have
Dragonborn
seen
is
that.
Still...
Yeah, all of you would have seen that over the course of the few hours. Several people come and go. You would have seen a fight break out between two individuals over an accused cheat. They were both kicked out. You did see, in fact, one person was dragged out through this door down here, an accused cheat, apparently caught by one of the ogres cheating, and was dragged out through that bottom door, and he has not come back. The ogre came back, but the person did not.
That Dragonborn is still at the bar, I'm guessing.
You can look around for him if you want. I mean, it's been a few hours.
I just kind of want to see if he's still here.
Roll a perception check for me. Look around. Seems like he might have left as well. I mean, there are Dragonborn in the place. I know the token's still there, but he's definitely not anywhere that you can see at this point.
Okay. And I would basically head over to Ame, just kind of sick of what I'm doing, kind of thing.
Yeah, so do you all eventually group up together and make plans to leave?
Yes, well, friends, I've had my fill of both drink and gambling today. I think we should come back, though. It's been quite enjoyable.
I think that sounds like a good plan. And are you going to be all right walking home?
There's one foot in front of the other. Is the way, I think. And one hoof.
Alright, well, I'll just figure out who I have to pay my tab to, and we'll go, shall we?
And you lean over to the bar and ask the barman, and the barman says, "Oh, I can take care of that for you." And he sort of he bangs on that little slide window to open it. Tell him what you've ordered, what you had as a meal, and he comes out. It's all right. That was 4 Wellingtons, drink, salt water's free. 5 gold. Covered a lot, I think. Maybe, 5 gold. That'll do.
There you go.
And you pay your tab. Tab's paid, and you head back out to the stairs. So you guys can leave yourselves there. I'll just switch the scene, because when you guys come back, we'll just come back to this scene. So we'll switch back to our inn. You head back to the Squirrel and Hydra, where your rooms are located. Takes you about 45 minutes to an hour to get back to the Squirrel and Hydra from the Snake Pit gambling den. Was there anything you guys wish to discuss before turning in for the evening and finishing our session for tonight?
When I was at the bar, I could see behind the other bar there was a long corridor behind that door, and on the other corner of the room there was what looked like a staff room, where the ogre was, not the one where they dragged the cheetah guy down. The other door, the double doors. But that's all I saw. And he's telling the Hogwarts.
Manus is like, the halfling ladies, got quite intoxicated. It got a bit fresh with me too. The door in the top corner, just on the other side of the dining room, she seemed to think the floor vault may be accessible through that door. Could be an interesting point of entry, and whatever that ogre that was standing there all night switched out once, I believe. There must be something important behind that door.
Those ogres, I was talking to one of them, Grog. They're all brothers. So I actually think I made him feel a little bit uncomfortable. But that's okay. I'm trying to get into the staff area.
Well, I have some contact in a high stakes gambling game at the docks. Be interesting. You never know, maybe Mr. Stone himself would partake, or maybe even somebody who could give some dirt on this place. You never know.
It's been a pretty successful evening, and we haven't killed anyone. It's unusual
Manus,
for us, but I am proud, very proud of us all.
Did you say that halfling asked you for a ride?
The centaur doesn't talk too openly about such things, Trixel.
Well,
I'll leave it up to your imagination.
I didn't know if it'd be a piggyback ride or she'd just use something as a step stool.
He just sort of clutches his holy symbol. He's like, "This is your penance, Manus. It's your penance." He's got his holy symbol's like a gauntlet with an eye on it.
Okay, we are a little bit over time, guys. We'll have to finish up here. So, yes, Ame.
As they're talking, Ame eats the fish.
Thank God for that. It's still pretty smelly, and it gives them really rank.
Starts reaching.
Yeah, it gives them really rank fishy breath too. So you guys finish up your conversation. You can do a little bit more research before you head back to the snake pit tomorrow. You will have to spend a bit more gold to get a bit more information, but you do have another way of entering already. You have found that information out. For your next jaunt into the inn, you could try the other entrance, maybe a better option, but you can do a little bit more research. So you turn in for the evening at the Squirrel and Hydra Inn, and that's where we'll end tonight's session, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate it very, very much. Before we get into favorite moments, I really need to pee because I had a drink and I didn't pee before. So I'm going to be right back, just to give me a couple of seconds, and you guys talk about yourselves for a moment. I'll be back.
But that was good fun.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's a bit different from your typical D&D outing. It's very interesting.
What?
I'm sure we
didn't get anyone killed.
Yeah. I was like,
we didn't get anybody.
We
We didn't get into a fight.
Close.
Yeah. I was trying to think of ways to get the weapons, but then even if we got past the people who were holding our weapons and went into the casino, the ogres in there would be like, why do they have weapons? All of a sudden.
Right. Oh, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, so weapons would be good somewhere behind the scenes, but not in the main area. There's just too many people in the main area. It was just kind of like, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't. I'm sitting here, like, my character knows that there's the sewers, and my character knows how to swim well, so, like, my character's secretly, like, thinking.
Yes, I am muted, sorry. I think I muted everyone. Yes, I thought Trixel was going to get into a punch-up tonight. That was a little bit interesting. But yeah, so favourite moments. We'll start with Drax, because I know Drax has got work in the morning.
Oh, I totally didn't write anything down because I was just enjoying it the whole time.
That's good. But any moment that stood out for you, whether it was a moment from Ame yourself or from another character, doesn't matter.
I had planned to use, if they had searched me properly, like thoroughly, I had planned to slip them the fish. And they would have grabbed the fish and gone, oh, what the fuck is this? So there was a purpose to the fish.
I knew there was, yeah.
It didn't happen. So.
You never know, it may happen next time. Potentially, maybe. And you would have got your weapons and stuff back too, so you can re-equip those. Or probably leave them unequipped because you have to go back there anyway, depending on how you go back. As I said, you guys do have another point of entrance with the research that you had completed. Mr. Grimm, aka Manus the Centaur Paladin.
I really enjoyed how different this is to most of the D&D sessions I've done, and how each of us, maybe not so much Ame, because he was very fish focused, but we all sort of had different ideas of how we'd go about getting more information. So Thrixel sort of staying out there and sort of getting to know some of the patrons, and Slanthy like really getting to know Grog, perhaps.
Poor Grog. Embarrassed him. Poor bugger.
In the biblical sense, who knows? But yeah, that was a good moment, and a Thrixel in the wine that really threw me. It shouldn't have, because like, you know, I mean, why not wine? But,
I mean,
yeah.
wine is wine, mead. I mean, there probably wasn't much top shelf in sort of medieval / D&D worlds. It's generally more meads and wines and things anyway. Yeah. But
red wine probably goes with Wellington somehow.
Yeah, probably. I mean, red wine, red meat, kind of works, doesn't it? And speaking of Thrixel, Mr. Dill Cribble with the Lizard Folk Fighter.
Oh, yes. Well, the reason I went with the wine, let's just start there. I thought, okay, it's natural, you know, berries and stuff. Lizards don't necessarily just eat meat. So I'm like, that's probably going to be more his thing than like a beer or something. So I was like, wine. But probably my favorite part had to be them hitting on Manus. I was just like, they're hitting on him. They're right behind me. So I know I probably...
You probably heard it.
Catch a glimpse of it.
You would have heard it. You would have heard what was going on.
And I'm like,
she was pissed. Yeah. She was not keeping it sweet secret at all.
So I was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna play on that a little bit. Yeah.
Miss Nutty Tart, aka Salanth the Warlock.
So I just think it's good being back in a team.
We haven't seen Nutty in a D&D session for a long time.
Can you tell I haven't played a D&D session for a long time?
I mean, you struggled with the Foundry trying to move your character.
Yeah. I've not used it before, shush, other than to play with.
Other than like an hour before we started, me telling you how it all works again.
And then like this afternoon, you telling me how it all works again.
Yeah, like twice today, but that's okay. You'll get there.
I have to say, I like Manus every time Ame does something, he's like, oh, for the love of Helm. It's like, gosh, do we have to go through this again? Oh, that was really funny.
That was really good. Anything else?
Nope, that was good. I think we'll meld more as a team as we go on.
I think you guys did pretty well. I mean, Drax is being Drax, and which is everyone has to deal with that. But I think my favorite moment was just the group talking about stuff they did prior to this adventure, just coming up with things and sort of throwing it out there, and everyone sort of just rolling with it, which I thought was really cool. That's some cool RP. If some like I think Manus brought up the Gatton incident, and
what happens in Gatton stays
in
Gatton.
Exactly, it sort of just rolled on. Everyone sort of just rolled with it, which I thought was a really good idea. And so well done with that. So that it's good that if you get a group that can sort of just play off each other in those sort of moments and just roll with it. And I'm kind of happy to let that sort of stuff go too, because it has no bearing on the story whatsoever. But yeah, so obviously we'll be back again next Wednesday. It is you being you. I mean, you're literally playing you. I mean, with slightly lower intelligence.
that roulette wheel.
No, I mean, Arme's only going to be pretty funny. His intelligence isn't that low. He's like 10 intelligence, isn't he?
It's one of his low, but Dex is definitely his lowest.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he's 10 intelligence. So that's 10 intelligence is not unintelligent. That's sort of average intelligence. But if you want to play it in a low intelligence way, that is completely up to you, and I like it, so it's great. But yeah, so that's us, guys. We're going to be back here next Wednesday with episode 2 of Into the Snake Pit with these fine folks. Hopefully Nutty will be able to continue with us, because she will be starting a new job very soon. The hours should allow her to carry on anyway, I think, which we should be pretty good. But yeah, so we'll be back next week with that. So you guys have got a week to decide whether you want to go back in the front door, or maybe reinvestigate, get a bit more information, or use the entrance that you, or the inn that you'd already found in your current investigation, which was through the sewer, I believe. So have a think about that before next session, and decide how you're going to approach your next entry into the Snake Pit, and with the attempt to find a way into the underground vault and personal offices of one Orphinius Stone. You've got a little bit of information, which was pretty cool. Chat, glad to see you guys hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate it. We've had a number of our regulars in there. We got Mina, we got Magic, we got Blue Jay hanging around there somewhere. We've got Ribbons in there, Era's in there, Mr. Stibbs hanging out down there. We will be back again, obviously, tomorrow night with some more maps. I'll be continuing with the Argynvost second floor. Then Friday night, I don't normally stream on a Friday night, but normally hang out with some of these folks over in another campaign if they're playing this week. I noticed last week they had a night off, but I hope we'll be back for that. And then on Sunday, we'll see, again, a couple of these faces. On Sunday with our Paradigm 2 Shadows Embrace, Mr. Stibb will be back with us on Sunday to play out Marath 2. So I believe he's available this week. So like I said last week, because of work schedules and everything else, Marath will be leaving the campaign, but we're going to get Sadiq to hopefully play it out. Literally play out his own character rather than me have to do it. As much as I don't want to see him go, and I would love to be able to see him play his character more often, schedules just aren't allowing. So it's just easier to have him come in and play the character out and do it himself rather than me do it. So we'll see you guys on Sunday for that. That should be a bit of fun. Yeah, we should raid, shouldn't we? Who are we going to raid tonight, guys? Do we have anyone
friendly here's on.
We haven't raided them for a while, have we?
No.
How long have they been streaming
and Raging
for?
Dolls. Friendly here and Raging Dolls are both on with D&D.
I don't think I follow Raging Dolls. Yes, I do. See how long Raging Dolls have been running for. When my computer catches up. Oh, they've only just started. They're doing Candlekeep Mysteries. We'll probably raid them, I think.
Raging Rolls, not Raging Dolls.
Raging Rolls, Raging Dolls, that kind of works.
England is hard tonight.
English is hard all the time. Righty ho ho, so we're going to raid Raging Rolls, ladies and germs. That is our raid tonight. Spam the Mimic if you've got it, otherwise the Evldoa logo for those that are not subbed. We will see you guys tomorrow night for some more maps. Obviously we're going to be carrying on with the Argynvost build. And then I'll see Friday over on Miss Yanti's channel. She'll be doing some D&D over there. I normally hang out with those guys on a Friday night because I don't stream on a Friday, as a general rule. Saturday night I will be away at my home game at Baz's place, and then we'll all be back here Sunday for some more D&D. So cheers guys, thank you so much. Thank you players for sticking it out, and we will see you when we see you. Bye for now.